and welcome to the Filter Free Podcast. I am your host, TJ Stevens.
Problematic.
Out of my left earbud.
Getting off to a banging start here.
Joining me, as always,
Step Hens.
Dollar Bill Dave.
I touch myself.
I just need to clip that. Just Dave leaning forward. I touched myself.
And Timmy C.
Goo, goo, goo.
Dave's is awesome, and he got a new hat, and it's hilarious. Are you drunk, yes or no? And it's marked on the right-hand side for both.
Time limit draws get my panties wet. I love it.
We've covered this butt wipe on a few different occasions.
Butt wipe?
You don't call people butt wipe anymore?
No. I'm not 7. Good news is I've limited the producer's amount to screw us over this, so we're actually going to get to sing along with the songs now. You are welcome.
You gotta fight for your right to party!
Pow!
Oh, and welcome to the Filter Free Podcast. I'm your host, TJ Stevens.
Step Hens.
Move my beers to the correct side of the desk. Joining me, as always, Dollar Bill Dave.
Peter McPuffin.
That's right. I don't know what that means.
Neither.
And Timmy C.
So he's Peter, you're Paul.
And Paul Blake from Necessary Roughness.
I'm Mary, I guess. Peter Paul. Puff the magic dragon. Live by the sea.
I watched Necessary Roughness last week.
Where the hell is Honolulu exactly?
Frolicked in the autumn mist. Please remember to subscribe and rate this show wherever you get your podcast. We're starting a new deal this month. If you subscribe to our Patreon, we will sing to you.
We have a better deal than that, by the way.
Oh, I just made that up. While you're
My
at it,
turn?
follow the show on Twitter at FF Podcast. On Instagram. Hello, Instagram. We're live there today at Filter Free Podcast. Follow our network on Twitter at Filter Free Net. For now, we are expanding our Patreon network. Some of those people we are expanding with will be hopping into the show tonight, and we will announce it here on the show. I'm excited.
Right now, in fact.
Right
Because
now.
if you're listening to this on audio, it's already happened. Poof. The Filter
Magic
Free
Dragon.
Network has now become the Wrestling and More, that's right, Ram Network. That you will get content from not just our fountain, but you will also get, as Dave mutes himself, you'll also get content from Talking Wrestling with Pondwater Dave.
What?
That has Pondwater Dave, Amy,
Dave
and
quit.
JD, Justin Davis. You will also get content from TNA Top 10, from T-Weave, Terry Weaver, and Andrew Hermes.
Unbelievable.
And then you will get lots of collabs. We've already started kind of teasing that through the Patron.
Coabs.
We just recorded one last night. Myself
Correct.
and
We showed up. Oh yeah, you want to tell about that?
me and Miss Amy Vaughn, as I called her on that show, the Queen of Kentucky, just recorded the first episode of our show. It's sort of a book club, but I don't really want to call it that because it's much more involved in that. It's called Power of the Pen. Our first guest was the author of the biography of the Sheik, Brian Solomon, and he was outstanding. My daughter, very excited upstairs about it. She's
Don't blame her.
jumping and screaming.
every week. It's
all
great.
good.
But you will get that. Plus, last night we kind of crashed into Pondwater Dave's show at the end, which, by the way, he had a fabulous guest last night. The
Fantastic.
Professor Nick Harrison. You would know him from TikTok. The kids love him. He's plays a lot of music.
He does.
But you will also get our normal stuff. Legends, Let's Rethink This. Footballers, Evolution of Evil, Wrestling with Commercials. We're going to have big plans for bus events now that there's 3 separate entities running this Patron. Lots of fun to be had. And the deal that TJ did not mention, much better than us singing to you. If you join in the month of April, First month free. First month on us.
Oh,
Dave's
what?
paying for it.
oh,
I got you, dog.
that makes sense. That's very kind of you.
So
That's why they call me Kind Dave.
I've literally never heard that.
Yeah.
No.
So last night we had a little business meeting with all the shows, and we were kind of discussing what could possibly be the next Sweet Life. Which one more thing I want to get to before we start the show, but that'll wait for a second. My daughter losing her shit. She is so excited for the Sweet Life. Possible destinations for the next one. WWE is not doing PLEs in the United States anymore for some reason. Literally the only one between now and Survivor Series is SummerSlam in Cleveland. So that's an option.
And Cleveland sucks.
Cleveland sucks. And then the other one was is All In. No, I'm sorry, that's in Wembley. All Out in Chicago was the other one.
If it's in Chicago,
If it's in Chicago,
which it usually is, but
usually,
has not been announced.
right?
I love that they like try to build drama to that. Like, oh, where's it going to be? Where's it going to be? It's in Chicago every year. Shut up.
It's literally been every year. So before we get started, you can't see it because of my name tag. Let's see if I can hide it. I got a little memoriam thing on my desk tonight. I'll just do this. There we go. Oh, I have to have a name? Eat shit. You son of a bitch. So
You're building
our good friend, Paul Bromwell,
who?
old Paulie Bees, has stepped away from AFS. Of course, we all know him as the host of Say by the Pod. And he's moving up in the job world and wanting to spend more time with his son, who's getting ready to graduate high school.
Sons.
And I couldn't be happier for Paul. He's a great dude. Wish him nothing but the best moving forward, and just wanted to say that before we start. Very happy for him. Nothing? Okay. So
Cheers.
there you go.
I've had enough of that asshole.
I'm sure you have. You made him a star, as we all know.
I did. I'm star
and
maker.
Efren. So
yeah, just prop everyone up. What's wrong with you two?
I'm too lazy.
I'm a well-known low achiever.
Sweet.
So
that's why we get along.
Well, the reason for the season, we are here to watch WrestleMania 12 together.
Yeah.
So if you haven't already, pull up the peacocks.
Pull your cocks out.
12. Pull out them cocks. Get WrestleMania 12. If you can't figure out the math, it's WrestleMania season 12.
XII.
It's episode 12.
And we're going to start
season 12, episode 1.
So we can start watching the show before we actually start our show, because both things will be happening. Of course, taking breaks in between to discuss what the matches we're seeing.
We're going to do real show. It's just going to be playing in the background, and we'll comment occasionally.
Yeah, we're going to talk over Duke the Drumster Drosy. So
lots of boring shit on this. Don't worry.
Yeah. Who wants to do the countdown?
All right, so we'll do 3, 2, 1, go, and then
Okay.
that's when you hit play on go. So
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go. It's Shawn Michaels'
There we go.
shoulder.
The boyhood dream.
He was at a liquor store, in case you didn't know. There was a sign in the background.
There's also bars over the windows, which is also a good sign. So
That's how he
Timmy.
lived his life back then.
Timmy, now that we got WrestleMania 12 going, we've got we still have a show to do. So why don't you get the harpsichord ready? Because
I always have it ready.
Can I finish? This week we're going back to March 31st, 1996, and we're going to watch WrestleMania 12 right now. This is I left a sentence in there from last week. However, before we get to that show, let's see what was happening in your world yesterday. Let's run through some events filter free. Up first, Timmy. Hit it. March 4th, stories that missed the cut. I should say that first. March 4th, Minnie Pearl, comedian and actress from the Grand Ole Opry and Hee Haw, dies at the age of 84. She
was old. She wore a tag on her hat. She was way ahead of her time.
She wrecked her speedboat. March
What?
5th, Earl.
I thought it was heroin.
It was both. He was high whilst driving the speedboat. March 5th, Earl Weaver and Jim Bunning head into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame.
Kentucky Congressman legend Jim Bunning.
Jim Bunning, that's correct. March 7th, LA Lakers point guard Magic Johnson becomes the second player ever to reach 10,000 career assists.
I forgot he came back in 95, 96.
He did.
But it was only
back
32 games.
Wasn't he a player coach for a minute?
We'll get back to that. We will get back to that. Not
Okay.
Magic. Stupid player coaches.
I don't. Of all the
he
things
coached
to be
LA
upset
in
at-
94.
Okay.
There's only one player coach ever that was great. Charlie Hustle, Pete Rose.
Montreal Expos legend, Pete Rose.
Shut up.
March 10th, we head over to the People's Choice Award as Tom Hanks and Demi Moore win awards for dramatic motion picture, while Tim Allen and Candice Bergen win in the TV category. Good. Timmy left. March
Where'd Timmy
16th, Mike Tyson beats Frank Bruno by third round TKO for the heavyweight boxing championship of the world.
My video quit.
Who?
Video killed the radio star.
I guess that's
Oh,
how
here
it's
comes
been.
Vader.
Here comes Vader and Jim Cornette.
How do you start this show off with a 6-man tag with Vader, Bulldog, and Yoko? Or Vader, Bulldog, and Owen versus Yoko, Ahmed Johnson, and Jake the Snake. Why would you not have Vader versus Yokozuna here?
Vader's just intimidating children. March 16th, Pat Summerall marries Sherilyn Burns in Florida. By the way, Summerall here was like 67.
Burns was probably 22.
I don't think so. I know she was. It couldn't have been that egregious because they didn't mention her name. Usually they do if it's that egregious. March 18th, Apple Records releases the Beatles Anthology 2.
The Beach Boys are better than the Beatles.
It's not true at all.
Hot take here.
They're both
Wrong.
very good. And again, it's not a hot take if you say it every week. It's very reheated by this point.
Reheated
20
take here.
Reheated take. Oven lukewarm. March 20th, Eric and Lionel Menendez are found guilty for murdering their parents.
Oh, the Menendez brothers.
Totally did it.
Famously in
did
the
you-
background of the Mark Jackson basketball card,
Yeah.
sitting front row Madison Square Garden. March 25th, it's time for the 68th Academy Awards as Braveheart wins Best Picture. Nicolas Cage wins Best Actor for Leaving Las Vegas, and Susan Sarandon wins Best Actress for her part in Dead Man Walking.
Nick Cage was great in Leaving Las Vegas.
It's true.
Fabulous movie. Elizabeth Shue. Boobies.
Oh,
Oh.
she's hot.
Oh, I love his shoe so hot. March 28th, Angelina Jolie, who has somehow escaped being the story in the wheelhouse for almost 3 years, gets married to Johnny Lee Miller. Fucking Tom Miller.
I don't think she's real good at the marriages.
No, I mean, she might be really good because she's done it a lot.
Mhm.
Also
Usually
good at the divorces.
marriages, you don't get divorced.
Maybe she's like, I've made this one good enough. It's time to move on to the next one. March 29th, the Cleveland Browns have decided on a name for their franchise when they ultimately make the move to Baltimore.
The Depravens.
You're going to have to explain that.
They're depraven. They're
Okay.
depraved.
I
They have a
thought
Super
you
Bowl.
mixed Ravens and depressed is what I thought you did.
That young franchise has a Super Bowl before your Cincinnati.
Actually, they have
Bengals.
2.
It's okay. We're going to win a lot more.
When? The Ravens?
I've got shitter neck going on. This is terrible.
Great.
The Ravens will win another one before Cincy wins their first.
That's
Incorrect.
Joe
Is it?
Flacco.
Bum
March
Wine
30
Bob is here.
I love bum wine. March 31st, 65-year-old Clint Eastwood marries 30-year-old Dina Ruiz. See? In Las Vegas. It's a shame Anna Nicole Smith was already taken.
Do you think it made his day?
Do you? Punk.
Go ahead. Make my day.
They divorced in 2014. Almost made it.
Almost
That made his day.
Almost.
Because you know what?
18 years.
Divorces are worth it, right?
I've been told that. Stories in the wheelhouse. March 1st, NBA legend Lenny Wilkens becomes the first coach in NBA history to reach 1,000 wins as his Atlanta Hawks beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. How's this for a score?
Trash
74-68.
Back when they played defense.
Yeah, no shit.
That's a halftime score these days.
Yeah. Let's start Wilkens' coaching legend with this. Before he coached, he played for 16 seasons, was a 9-time All-Star, and when he retired in 1975, he was second all-time in assists behind only Oscar Robertson.
Legend.
Legend. Let us also mention that his coaching career began in 1969 for the Seattle Supersonics. So you may be confused, like, well, if he retired in 75, but he played 14 years, how did he start coaching in 69? Well, he was one of the last, actually, he might have been the last player coach of the NBA. In fact, with the exception of the 1972 through 74 seasons, he coached 4 of his last 7 seasons as a player. Strictly as a coach, his NBA career began in 1975-76 as the head coach for the Portland Trail Blazers, whom he coached the previous 2 seasons while also playing. As a coach, Wilkens coached for 37 seasons with the Sonics, Blazers, Cavaliers, Hawks, Raptors, and your New York Knickerbockers. His overall head coaching record is 1,332 and 1,155, which still puts him third all-time in coaching wins behind only Don Nelson and Greg Popovich. Wilkens also led the 78-79 Sonics to the NBA title, the only title of Wilkens' career, and he was also the only person to be named to the NBA 75th anniversary team as a player and as a coach.
Lenny Wilkens is an all-time legend when it comes to basketball.
Correct.
When he retired, he was the all-time wins leader and the all-time losses leader. In fact, Wilkens has been inducted 3 times into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. First in 1989 as a player, then again in 1998 as a coach, and in 2010 as part of the 1992 U.S. Olympic Dream Team, for which he was an assistant coach. In 1996, Wilkens was named to the NBA 50th anniversary team. Then in 2021, he was named to the NBA 75th anniversary team.
It's pretty good.
It's not his fault. He got stuck with scrubs.
He coached the Hawks, the Knicks, and the Cavs. Tim, whenever you're ready, buddy. It's all you. The floor is yours.
This guy is the ultimate compiler. He is so into compiling. He played and coached for like 5 years. He had to keep padding those stats, so might as well become a coach so no one can bench my old ass but me. He averaged like 40 minutes a game his final 5 seasons, please. And as a coach, he wasn't great either, obviously. 7 different coaching stints with 6 different teams. And the one he won with the championship with doesn't even exist anymore. He killed the team.
It's 7 different coaching stints with 6 different teams over 37 years.
Well, be good and they'll keep you in one place. In his final year coaching, he quit halfway through the season because he couldn't hack it anymore. I'm surprised he didn't start playing himself again and try to right the ship. I'll just become a player coach again and play myself 40 minutes.
At the age of 70.
Yeah, you're a real penis.
He doesn't care. Hall of Famer. No. He's the Nolan Ryan of basketball.
Oh, geez. Here we go again.
Wow. This penis.
Here we go again. What an idiot face.
Yeah.
You know what they call people like you? Pathead.
Geniuses. Geniuses.
He was so bad that all of his peers were like, we're going to put him in the Hall of Fame 3 times.
Okay, the Dream Team kind of was written itself. I could have coached them to the Olympic championship.
And you could induct a cantaloupe into the Basketball Hall of Fame, please.
A cantaloupe.
Can you?
I don't know if you heard that, but when you said you can induct a cantaloupe in the Hall of Fame, my daughter upstairs goes, "What?"
Yeah, exactly.
she did. So, I believe we just talked about basketball, which is technically sport ball.
Let's do this. NBA.
But today, I'm the greatest of all time.
Here it is. Page. Pressure with three. Winston's going to run the ball. Makes a guy miss. Comes down to over the second rafter. Off the floor. Nothing but net. Through the window. Off the wall. Nothing but net. You like that? You like that? I like that.
You gotta like that, right?
Here we go. I have a score right now of 6-2 for the month of March. Dave is up. I have no idea what you guys did last week. I was not here. So
We didn't do
box score trivia.
there you go. So
He
Timmy,
didn't even
you have-
listen to his own damn show. Come on.
You have to do a clean sweep,
I'm ready.
just a tie for the month.
Are we doing baseball?
It's basketball.
We're doing basketball, dummy. We just talked about Lenny Wilkins. You should pay attention to your own show.
You don't even know who Kevin Millwood is.
We list.
I know who he is.
So
Cincinnati Reds
Timmy?
legend Kevin Millwood.
I'm giving you first crack at this. Points per game for the 1996-97 season. Let me make sure I have the right season because I've done that before. It is 96-97. Points per game leaders. Remember, this site does top 20. So how many of the top 20 can you name? There's some doozies on here. This is a good one. Timmy's going 6.
All right, let's prove it.
All right, Timmy, no pressure. You got to win it out of the gate.
Michael
Jake
Jordan.
Jake Roberts got a nice ass here at 96. Michael Jordan led the league, 29.6. There's one.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq. No.
What? 96?
There are no Orlando Magic on this list.
So I only need 2.
You need 2.
No, he's
Karl
got to match my
Malone.
6. He's got to go 4.
Karl Malone, second, 27.4 of the Utah Jazz.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
Seventh, 23.2. Dave.
There is
Gets the
no
point.
way Shaq. Where was? How many did 20 have?
So hold on. We'll get there. I'll look it up here in a second.
So
The
I
rest of
win
your-
for the month.
He died.
I want-
He probably died that year or something.
Yeah, he died for one season. I want you to hear the rest of the list. So 20th, Kevin Johnson of the Phoenix Suns. Then Damon Stoudemire, Scottie Pippen, Tim Hardaway. You ready for this name? Tom Gugliotta of the Minnesota Timberwolves.
NC State
How did
Wolfpack
Shaq
legend,
got outscored Tom Gugliotta?
Jerry Stackhouse, Vin Baker, Glenn Robinson, Purdue Boilermakers legend, Grant Hill, Reggie Miller, Gary Payton, Kendall Gill, Patrick Ewing, Allen Iverson snuck in there. Well, not Snickers.
Did you say Kendall Gill?
Kendall Gill.
Damn, I never would have got that one.
Latrell Sprewell, former story on this show.
Do you know Kendall Gill is afraid of rats?
He also choked his coach. Maybe he thought PJ Grossman was a rat.
No, that's Latrell Sprewell.
Are
I
we
just said Latrell
95,
Sprewell.
96 season, right?
96, 97.
Okay, either way. What was the points per game for number 20?
20.1.
All right, Shaq in 96, 97 averaged 26.2 points a game.
How many games did he play?
51.
That's why.
Yeah.
You got to play 62 to qualify.
Bullshit! He averaged
don't-
more points.
I don't make the rules, Timmy.
Cheater!
Okay. Anyway,
You
Mitch
suck.
Richmond fourth, Glenn Rice third, 26.8. Dave, you're up. Rebounds per game. We have 20. Timmy's so pissed right now.
4.
Dave's going 4. Timmy, what
Do
you
it.
got? Here we go.
Shaq ain't
4
on there. FYI.
He's not.
Dennis Rodman.
Led the league with 16.1. Led the league by 5.
Karl Malone.
Karl Malone, 11th, 9.9. There's 2.
Dikembe Mutombo.
Second, 11.6. Bonus point if you can guess the team.
Was that when he was on Denver?
And that was Atlanta.
Oh, shit.
So he should lose a point for that. You got to name an extra one.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
Hakeem Olajuwon 17th, 9.2. That was 4.
Timmy.
You said 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Timmy, you need 5. But luckily with the NBA, you still have 16 to choose from.
But he's cheating. He's looking.
Shaq,
I'm not. I looked up Shaq's stats. No, Shaq ain't on there. Only played
Shaq
51
ain't
games.
one of them.
Luke Longley.
Luke Longley, Chicago Bulls legend. No, he's not on the list.
He probably played 52 games.
Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley.
Vlade Divac was 20th with 9. Grant Hill, Antoine Walker, Olden Polynice. How's that one? Rony Cycli, Michael Smith, Dale Davis, Charles Oakley.
It's Ronnie Cycli, stupid.
Shut up. Tyrone Hill, Sean Kemp, Loy Vaught, Vin Baker, Chris Webber, Patrick Ewing, Irvin Johnson, and Anthony Mason.
Turns out Luke Longley, not a great rebounder.
He was not very good at basketball.
He was a really good surfer, though.
5.6 rebounds a game in 96-97.
Timmy, do you want to take a crack at assists?
I can name 2.
2 for assists per game.
All right, prove it.
Wow.
John Stockton.
Second, 10.5.
Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr. No.
Damn it.
So I need
Should
2.
have picked
You
him
need
for
2.
points.
Gary Payton.
Gary Payton, the glove. 16th, 7.1.
Kevin Johnson.
Kevin Johnson. Third, 9.3.
No, that was Kelvin Johnson. That was third.
Here's the rest. Greg Anthony of the Vancouver Grizzlies. Terrell Brandon, Latrell Sprewell, Avery Johnson, Kenny Anderson, Muggsy Bogues, 7.2.
Quarterback for the Bengals?
What?
Legend. Kenny Anderson.
Oh, no, not that one. No, this
2
one was
Super
actually
Bowl
good.
appearances.
This one was actually good at sports. David Wesley, Grant Hill, Allen Iverson, Stephon Marbury, Robert Pack, Nick Van Exel, Tim Hardaway, David
Cincinnati
Stoudemire.
Bearcats legend Nick Van Exel.
That's right. Rod Strickland, Jason Kidd, John Stott. Well, you got John Stott. Mark Jackson led the league, 11.4. So, Dave, just to be fair, let's do one more. Let's do a fun one. Let's do free throw percentage. Top 20. How many can you name? Oh, Vader Splash. Look at that mullet on my. Is that John Cone? Mike Cone? Vader just won.
We're gonna have to take a break here. After
here's Roddy
this
Piper.
category. Yeah.
All right, free throws. 3.
Wait, did you say here's Roddy Piper?
Yeah.
What is your time code?
I am at 1942, 43.
Well, I am a full
44,
minute behind you.
45.
The way my internet's working, I'm already at WrestleMania 13.
So I've got Goldust caressing paintings and whatnot here.
Yep.
Playing a bagpipe. Okay.
There you go.
So you
Now
how many?
he's
I think it's
3.
because I have it open in the same browser as the Instagram, so I keep going back and forth. I think that's why.
now he's playing bagpipes.
I'm a little ahead now. That's fine.
Okay.
So
3.
3 for free throw percentage. Timmy, can you beat 3?
Nah, do it.
I'm
Well,
going
I
with all
can't.
white dudes.
I can, but I'm waiting.
It's not. I mean, there's a lot of them on here.
John Stockton.
John Stockton, 17th, 84.6.
Damn. Jeff Hornacek.
Third, Horny, 89.9.
Also
And
made
the guy,
no
the
women.
guy for
Horny.
Golden State.
The guy for
Steph
Golden
Curry,
State.
yes.
Chris Mullen.
Chris Mullen, 12th, 86.4.
All right. I just named white people.
Okay.
You need 4 people. Timmy, I will let you pick any race you would like. So you need 4 people.
Timmy has to go with Asians.
All right, so Shaq's not going to be on here because he didn't qualify.
He
Even
didn't
if
play enough games.
Even if he played
He didn't play
152
enough games.
games, he ain't going to be on this list.
Let's go. Let's try Steve Kerr again. He's white.
Steve Kerr. You should really stop picking guys off the bench. No Steve
Larry
Kerr.
Legend.
So here's
In
the rest of the-
96?
96. Hey, Larry Legend. I think he was coaching in 96.
Maybe
He was coaching the
player
Pacers,
coaching.
wasn't he?
Yeah.
He's Lenny Wilkins.
No, 96
Player
was
coaching.
still 96 was the what the hell was his name? The little white dude with glasses. Damn it, I can't remember his name. I think Larry here might have been the GM of the Pacers in 96. Anyway, here's your top 20. Chris Mills, Marty Conlon, Latrell Sprewell,
He's
Sam
choking.
Cassell, Steve Smith, the basketball player.
Florida State Seminole legend, Sam Cassell.
That's correct. Kevin Johnson, Mitch Richmond, Bryant Stith.
If you say Charlie Ward, I'm going to shit a brick.
Well, congratulations on saving your shorts because I'm not going to say him. Joe Dumars, Glenn Rice, Derek Martin, Hershey Hawkins, Malik Sealy, Reggie Miller, 88%,
Oh.
Mario Ellie, Ricky Pierce, Terrell Brandon, and Golden State Warriors
Who?
legend Mark Price led the league at 91%. And that was box score trivia. By the way,
Price was in a lot of those.
yeah. Before we head into the next
Roddy Piper's beating Goldust with a trash can.
Yes. Before we head into the next story, I'm going to look up. I'm trying to find right now the match ratings for WrestleMania 12 because those are always fun to shit on.
Find out how many assists per game Steve Kerr had.
In 1996,
4.
the for the
whole
whole
year?
season.
Yeah.
Roddy Piper just. So what's funny is this match kind of gets shit on. That's why I'm kind of curious what the star rating for this is. This is like one of my first wrestling memories. I love this fight. I love it.
Well, till it got weird with the lingerie.
Yeah, I mean, it did go a little far, and to be fair, the arena part probably went too long. But like this part, I was all in as an 11-year-old. I was 11 here.
Turns out Steve Kerr not good at basketball.
No, he was. It's not before he got to the Bulls. He wasn't very good.
No, he wasn't very good. Period.
Well,
Like
he was mostly off.
His best season, he averaged like 23 minutes a game.
He was mostly off the bench.
It
I want
looks like he should mostly on the bench.
Oh wait, this show took place on the 31st, so this newsletter would be in April.
Can we talk about how dumb this match is?
I literally just praised it, and you're like, also TJ's dreams are stupid.
They're literally.
Yeah, I think
hurt.
this pay-per-view, they should have ended this in the parking lot.
You think?
It was a backlot brawl. Should have ended in the parking lot. It
I'm
should have
pretty
been
sure
Vader versus
Roddy
Yoko. But the opening match of this pay-per-view should have been the British Bulldog versus future Hall of Famer Ahmed Johnson. That should have been the first match of this pay-per-view.
You guys want to hear something fun? I just found this on accident. So, do you guys Uncensored was the week before this? Do you know which Uncensored that was?
Yeah, that was the Macho Man and Hulk Hogan versus the Alliance to end Hulkamania.
The
They
Doomsday
beat
Cage.
everybody.
Is that the cage with 3 layers?
Yeah.
Yes.
With
And of
Zeus
course-
as Z Gangsta.
And of course, the one match everyone remembers, the Booty Man versus DDP. So that
A
was
good one.
this was wrestling in 1996. See if I can find Wrestlemania.
Now
It was
we're going to do
uncensored.
the Bronco spot.
You've
This
been
was
hanging
also dumb. I
around
didn't-
Pondwater Dave too long.
I didn't care for this part either. So he has
Why?
a review for Uncensored, but not WrestleMania. That makes all the sense in the world.
Just Google WrestleMania.
I found it.
Match.
So this
Okay.
show in the Observer Reader poll got 68.7% thumbs up, 24.8% thumbs down, 6.4% thumbs in the middle. Best match was a runaway Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels, and then Roddy Piper versus Goldust was second. Worst match on this poll, to the surprise of no one, under Ultimate Warrior versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
See, I would have said Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels.
I have no desire to ever watch a 1 hour long wrestling match. Ever.
So the first match, you guys want to guess what the star rating of the first match got?
What was the star rating for the pre-show match? The Godwins versus the Body Donnas.
1 star.
I'm
Oh, I
going to
forgot about
say
Stone Cold
a
and
star and a
Vega.
half for the first match.
This
Star
should
and a
have
half?
opened the shows.
This
This is when he first became Stone Cold. Because he was the ringmaster before.
yes, right.
He shaved his head completely. That's
So
how you know.
first match, Dave. Timmy says star and a half. What do you got for a guess for the
2
first
stars.
match? 2.5 stars.
Far too good.
For that one. The last segment we just watched didn't get stars because it didn't finish. So the next one, wow, I'm surprised by this rating. We'll get into it after the match. A little surprised by that. Wow. So
Steve Austin as the $1 million champion.
let's head into the next story. March 8th, one of TJ's faves is released here as Fargo is released in the United States.
Never
The
seen
film
it.
was. You've never seen Fargo?
Never seen it either.
Oh, you guys.
But I just finished season 1 of the TV show and it's phenomenal. So I actually have Fargo in my queue to watch.
You need to watch the movie's fantastic. William,
It's
this
not as
might
good as
be-
Ricky Stenicki.
This might be William H. Macy's best performance he's ever done.
No, his
He was
best performance
great
is
in Ricky
Shameless.
Stenicki.
And Shameless.
No,
Well, I
Ricky,
meant
Ricky
film.
Stenicki.
Film performance.
He was great in Jurassic Park 3.
You know what? I
He
can't
was
remember.
great in Ricky Stenicki.
No one is listening to you. Have you not picked up?
Nobody's
On
Great
seen
movie.
Ricky Stenicki.
It's been out.
It
for 8
is
minutes.
great. Go check it out. It's awesome.
I can't get over
not
Zac
theaters.
Efron's face with all that work he's done to it.
William
His
H.
lips
Macy,
are all
hilarious.
long now. He's all.
Well, he's got to look like one of the Von Erichs. He probably does a lot of cocaine.
He looks
Anywho.
weird now. Looks like he made out with a garbage can. Had a plastic.
John
baby.
Cena is hilarious in that movie, though. Very funny.
He's no Savio Vega.
So Fargo was directed by Ethan and Joel Cohen and starred William H. Macy, Frances McDormand, Steve Buscemi, Harv Prisnelli, and Peter Stormare. The film was shot during 1995 and actually premiered at the 1996 Cannes Film Festival,
It's
where
Con.
Joel Cohen won best. What?
It's Con.
You're Con. Won the Best Director award while in Cannes.
It's Con.
The year is 1987, and Jerry
Uncultured
Lundegaard,
swine.
a down-and-out car dealership owner in Minnesota, suddenly has money issues, but he does have a wealthy father-in-law, so he makes a plan to have his wife kidnapped for ransom. The two kidnappers will be in charge of the ransom plot, who are Carl Showalter and Georg Grimsrud. Pretty sure I got that right. Kidnapping goes without a hitch, but on the way to the stowaway location, they're pulled over, and that's where the movie takes off. The film was shot primarily in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, as well as Pembina County, North Dakota. The bar the pitch took place in was demolished in 2003. The dealership that Jerry owned in the movie is now the parking lot of a Best Buy headquarters. The film was shot in a $7 million budget and grossed a box office total of $60.6 million.
On review aggregator site Rotten Tomatoes, Fargo holds an approval rating of 94% based on 104 reviews with an average rating of 8.8 out of 10. That has to be one of the highest rated movies we've ever discussed here.
Dude, I'm telling you. Tremendous.
The site's critical consensus reads violent, quirky, and darkly funny. Fargo delivers an original crime story and a wonderful performance by McDormand. Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert both declared Fargo as the best film of 1996,
They're right.
with Ebert later ranking it 4th on his list of best films of the 1990s. I wonder what their top 5 were.
Ricky Stenicki.
Shut up. Yeah.
Fun facts time. This is the least of the fun facts. There were no fun facts about this movie. Ugh. The actors used a book called How to Talk Minnesotan to help with their accents. They used a book to help learn the accents.
That's easy. My mom was born in Wisconsin. I can do the accent. It's not hard.
You kind of do already. It's okay.
Tiacos.
Minnesota.
Take off your boots. I just vacuumed.
But here's the thing. You learned by watching. They learned by reading a book. How do you learn accents by reading a book?
You know,
Up
Timmy,
here in Minnesota.
Timmy, that might be
snowing.
the best question you've ever asked on this
Snowing
show.
like the Dickens, Minnesota.
Yes.
Dave's got it.
You've
Very
heard people talk. Did you read a book to find that accent out?
So
Head down to the
I
store.
first
get a
got
Kringle.
Minnesota accent. So I was at a church camp thing in New Orleans in 10th grade.
It seems like a good place to have a church camp.
So
During
all the
Fat
stuff was at the Superdome, and I met a girl, and I had her back in my hotel room.
He kissed a girl and he liked it.
What a church retreat.
And got busted by the youth pastor.
Weird.
But I always remember she was hot as fire, and I just laughed because she was from Minnesota.
Mm.
Little hot blonde number.
She said, "Oh, Dave."
Oh crap.
Who'd have thunk?
Oh,
Dave
crap.
with a blonde, huh?
Yeah,
Weird.
that's completely off personality for you.
Who the hell has church camp at the Superdome?
So it was
Was
It
it
was like
Church
a-
of Satan?
it was like a convention thing, and it was for the Lutheran churches, and the big thing that year was in the Superdome. So it was just for kids. So it was like a
Hey,
team.
well, that's where I want to take kids is to New Orleans.
Yeah, we went down on.
Hey,
onto,
look, titties everywhere.
we went down on Bourbon Street and everything. That was the first time I ever saw a transvestite. Big old.
I don't
burly
think
black
that's what they're called anymore,
dude.
Dave.
What do they call them?
Transgender.
Oh, transgender. Well, they were transvestites back then. Because I'm like, wait, that girl is 7 foot tall and has a beard.
Was it George
But she
Muir
was
song?
standing on a box.
George smelled like cabbage.
Also, to be fair to his church group, nothing knocks the horny out of kids than the 1991 New Orleans Saints. So I also would have had it in the Superdome. Like, want to see how this terrible this football team is? Look at this. They're terrible. They're
They
trash.
all had to wear bags on their heads. All right. The role of Carl Showalter was written specifically for Steve Buscemi. Yay. There's only one scene shot in a bright sunny day. Cinematographer Sir Roger Deakins, he's a damn knight, hated that it was sunny, feeling that it was against the movie's mood. It's in Minnesota.
I actually think it worked out in the movie's benefit.
Well, it's Minnesota. How'd you even find sunlight?
It's not Alaska.
3 weeks into shooting, Joel Cohen and Ethan Cohen revealed to their cast and crew that this was in fact not based on a true story. What?
Wow.
Actors are dumb.
Wait, so they told me it was a biography piece?
Yeah, I think this is based on a true story. Frances McDormand accidentally left her pregnancy suit in her trailer one night. The silicone breasts in the suit froze, and one of them exploded the next day on set. That is the funnest fact you'll get here, is exploding titties.
How do you know it wasn't the belly?
Because it said.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't read notes.
That's good. Me
Most
neither.
of the you don't read your own notes most of the time. Most of the snow in this movie was artificial since it was not snowing in Minnesota when the film was shot. I always just assumed it always snowed there. What are they, like the 2 weeks in June where it doesn't snow?
Yep. Summer. The summer pay period.
The
Summer
summer
in
weeks
Minnesota.
of Minnesota.
Yeah.
Oh, Dave.
March 9th, at the tender age of 100, comedian and actor George Burns dies from heart failure. George Burns is one of the more influential people in the history of entertainment, but due to the time of his career, this is probably the only chance we'll ever get to cover him, so that's why we're doing it here on this show. He was born.
Well, I mean, I'm sure we're gonna do a show from. We're gonna do NWA wrestling
1912.
from 1946.
If I can find it, we're doing it.
I will quit the show.
They didn't have
this year.
television. We're not going to find that show.
And I'm going to do the whole show with this voice. He was born on January 20th, say 1896, New York City. He was the 9th of 12 children. At a young age, Burns got a job in a local candy factory as a syrup maker at the age of 6. Because it was 1902. Weirdly enough, during this job is when Burns was discovered. His first job in entertainment
discovered.
Was as operating the curtains at the Vaudeville and Nickelodeon Theater of Frank Sidon. And no, that's not the Nickelodeon we know it.
Were they doing
Nickelodeon that's gotten in trouble for raping the kids?
They were doing You Can't Do That on Television.
Oh, the producer. Yeah, I just saw that today.
I gotta watch that.
Burns was then drafted into the Army during World War I. However, due to his extreme nearsightedness, he was disqualified from service.
He was a terrible shot on the musket.
Well, he was with that nearsightedness.
He fired the cannon.
He was probably pointing the rifle in the wrong direction. It was like going over his shoulder. His first marriage was to one of his dance partners, Hannah Siegel, and lasted an entire 26 weeks. But before we get too judgy about that one, the marriage was actually a sham. Hannah's parents would only let the two tour together if they were married first, which makes absolutely no sense. Listen.
To be fair, 26 weeks is 6 months.
That's true. But I only want you touring, dancing with my daughter if you're banging each other. Otherwise, no, sir. In the late 1920s,
maybe they didn't want them banging unless they were married.
Why are they assuming they're banging? I don't understand.
Because back in those days,
that George Burns was so handsome.
That I love like the generations before us. Like all you kids do is unsafe sex. Get married before children. They're like, hey, if you want to dance with my daughter, you have to marry her first.
If you want to dance with my daughter, you have to marry her first.
Was his footloose? In the 1920s, Burns began his on-screen career in a series of short films with some minor league players like, I don't know if you heard of these guys, Bing Crosby, W.C. Fields, Jack Benny. Burns also prospered.
What was W.C. Fields' greatest saying of all time?
I have no idea.
He made great cookies, though, or his wife did.
W.C. Fields.
Mrs.
A man's got to believe in something. I believe I'll have another beer.
That is very good.
Boom.
Very good. Burns also prospered through the avenues of radio, first for NBC for 12 years before moving on to CBS. Burns then got his first real break as a solo act when he would get the George Burns and Gracie Allen show in 1950 on CBS television.
Hey, dumbass. He would get his first real break as a solo act when he get the George Burns and Gracie Allen show. That's not a solo act. That's a duo.
I believe it's Dave's turn.
Yeah.
So you shut your pie hole.
Sorry.
So has anyone ever seen George Burns without his trusty cigar?
He's dead, so no.
I bet he's buried with. There's no way he's not buried with a cigar.
That's what I think. There's one in his mouth right now.
It's a Cohiba.
Burns was still appearing at major hotel casinos in Las Vegas, Reno, and Lake Tahoe during the early 1980s. When Burns turned 90 in 1986, the city of Los Angeles renamed the northern end of Hamel Road George Burns Road. City regulations prohibited naming a city street after a living person, but an exception was made just for him.
They knew he was not going to be living soon, so
look at him.
Burns remained in good health for most of his life, in part thanks to his daily exercise regimen of swimming, walks, sit-ups, and push-ups. He bought new Cadillacs every year and drove until the age of 93.
I bet that was a sight, him driving at 93.
And he was really short, too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He was tiny, but he only got in 71 car accidents.
I seen him. He was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
After that, Burns had chauffeurs drive him around. In his later years, he also had difficulty reading the fine print. He's 100. Of course he can't see.
Yeah.
Why was he reading fine print? It was like punishment to him. Here's a paper with fine print.
In July of 1994, Burns suffered a head injury after falling in his bathtub and underwent surgery to remove fluid in his skull. I remember when that happened, everybody thought he was going to die because he was literally 98 years old and fell in his bathtub. He never fully recovered, and his performing career came to an end. In February of 95, Burns, in what was said to be his final television appearance, was presented with the very first SAG Lifetime Achievement Award by the Screen Actors Guild. When Burns was 96, he had signed a lifetime contract with Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. I'm guessing they didn't think that one was going to last very long. To perform stand-up comedy there, which included a guarantee show of his centenary, which was in January 20th, 1996.
You misspelled
that day. It's not cemetery. It's centenary. What I said, centenaries. It's centenary.
I mean, I wasn't going to say anything.
When the day actually came, however, he was too weak to deliver the planned performance.
You think
so not only did they sign this contract, now they're paying him and he can't even do anything.
They sued him to get that money back. They're like, we're going to sue
Caesars was like,
shit
hey,
out of this 100-year-old man.
Let's just give him a contract. Look at him. He's never going to, we'll just have to pay him $9. He can't perform.
Stone Cold beat Savio Vega. Now we got a Diesel interview.
Yeah, this was, was this Diesel's last pay-per-view?
No, the next month at Good Friends, Better Enemies versus Sean.
When was Cold Day in Hell?
That was that a couple years December? Later. That was Austin versus Undertaker.
Was it?
Yeah.
When was WrestleMania 31? Wasn't that he was there?
In December of 1995, a month before his 100th birthday, Burns was well enough to attend a Christmas party hosted by Frank Sinatra, who had turned 80 that month.
But that was
where he reportedly caught the flu, which weakened him further. He released a statement joking about how he would love for his 100th birthday to have a night with Sharon Stone.
I would also want that.
Yes. She's still hot.
I don't know. She's almost 100 now.
Let's look her up.
At age 13, he charged immigrants coming in by boat from Ellis Island $5 for dance lessons. By the way, that was a lot back in 1910.
1910.
It was. Telling his clients that it was a necessary prerequisite for becoming a U.S. citizen. I like this guy. George Burns.
Andy just texted me and said she was watching our podcast, but she didn't like it because she couldn't interact with us.
Try to get in the chat, bro.
Tell her
that's what I just told her.
Use the chat.
Also, look at Sable here. My Lanta. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Okay. George Burns has 3 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, a motion picture star at 1639 Vine Street, a television star at 6510 Hollywood Boulevard, and a live performance star at 6672 Hollywood Boulevard. Burns is also a member of the Television Hall of Fame, where he and Gracie Allen were inducted in 1988.
That was from a solo act.
Burns, yeah, solo. Burns was a best-selling author who wrote 10 books. Until his death, he smoked as many as 10 cigars a day. He appeared in 17 TV shows and 41 movies. We got a bunch of compilers this week, don't we, TJ?
But George Burns and
Lenny Wilkins.
Lenny Wilkins?
Yeah.
You're an ass clown. So before we start, again, Sable here at WrestleMania 12. But let's see. You want to guess Steve Austin and Savio Vega? Star rating.
1 3/4.
Okay.
3 1/4.
2.
That wasn't a bad match.
No, I agree with you. So here's was his
6 stars better than Hogan Andre.
That's true. Both guys worked hard, but there was no heat, and the finish died live. The work itself was good in spots and slightly off in other spots. Of course, up next, Ultimate Warrior and Hunter Hearst Helmsley. This match.
Good news is we can watch this. Yeah.
Yeah. This one's only 1:38.
TJ, I think you should do the play-by-play. So, Ultimate Warrior's fireworks have started, but he is standing
sparklers
in the entrance.
Give me a time code. I think I fell behind again.
He's running
45, 42, 43, 44, 45. He's running to the ring like a madman, and he's trying to sell comic books.
With destrucity. My dog loves it. He's going apeshit downstairs.
I thought that was Carson.
Could be. Maybe she's probably trying to ride him. That reminds me, need to tell her to get her shower.
You texting her?
Yeah, she has.
I
nothing
really
to-
enjoy that Warrior came back to WrestleMania 12 in what appears to be a Canadian tuxedo,
It's a duster.
but it looks like it's made out of denim.
Jandy said she commented on Instagram during my New Orleans story.
What's her Instagram name? Is it
J-Sue?
JSUW?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
I said, open up this link and we can bring you into the show. I commented on your Instagram or on Instagram during your New Orleans story, but you didn't respond. Too late. I'm naked in the shower right now.
Oh, she said, "Oh, really?"
Hey, we're trying to pop a rating here. Tell
Oh,
her to go
about
on
the blonde
Go
girl.
on and go to the link.
There's my wife hearing me talk about the blonde girl. I was in 10th grade. That was before her. It doesn't count.
So this one time I was trying to get Poon at a church group meeting in New Orleans when I was 10.
Yikes. She was from Minnesota. We used to write each other in the mail.
Ride.
Right. So
Oh.
I don't know about you guys, but here at 11 years old, I could not have given less of a shit that the Ultimate Warrior was back here in 96.
I was kind
I
of pumped
still,
for a
I
minute.
still don't give a shit that he was back.
I was kind of pumped for a minute, but at the next pay-per-view, he did that bullshit with Goldust. And after that, I was done.
So
I was like, this guy sucks.
was Lawler before this or after?
Lawler was king of the ring.
So yeah, so he does this, Goldust, Lawler in back-to-back months.
And
Correct.
none of them were anything.
No.
And then he, because the live show I went to, he no-showed.
Of course.
So we got Vader versus Ahmed Johnson. Since it was supposed to be Warrior versus Vader.
Right.
But
Pedigree by Hunter Hearst, and no one gives a shit. Warrior's back. He hasn't even taken his duster off yet.
oh, you're slow. He just hit him with the first clothesline, second clothesline, third clothesline.
Well, I'm real. I just accidentally saw what's next. I'm real excited. I just saw him hit the splash, rolls him over. 2, 3. Mike Chioda says, "Get this shit over with."
Here's the big shoulder block.
Maybe I went too far ahead.
Yeah, I'm at
I'm not-
48, 58, 59,
I'm a
49
full
minutes.
minute. I'm a full minute ahead.
He's picking him up for the gorilla press.
Gonna just pull his penis right off.
And this is the worst finishing move ever.
It's not good.
I wonder how much they paid him for this.
Well, if I remember the story correctly, they had a finish. Of course, he was going to go over, but it was going to be under some sort of dispute because they were going to try to push Hunter here. And just before they go out to have the match, Warrior changes the finish and threatens to hold the show up unless he gets a bigger payout. So that's cool. Glad you brought him back. Seems to be money well spent. And here's the thing.
Well, at this point, he knew Hall and Nash were leaving.
Yes.
So he was trying to bring in somebody that could pop ratings.
But like, imagine, like, I can't remember anyone in the history of wrestling be more celebrated for essentially a 2-year run than the Ultimate Warrior.
So, my dog was going apeshit downstairs.
Okay.
There were kids outside.
Mhm.
Do girls still go door to door selling Girl Scout cookies?
Usually they're at Lowe's or some shit outside.
Yeah, my one of the guys I work with brings the sheet into our office because he knows
Well,
we're fat. and we'll
apparently
fight.
my dog barking at them made the little girl stick around even longer. So
You should get a Ring doorbell, then you can just tell her to piss off.
I told her to piss off in person.
Oh, you should just Ring doorbell. You don't have to do
I
that.
walked down there and I said, "Look here, you little." Never mind.
You did not swear at a 9-year-old.
I didn't swear.
Okay, thank you.
I said take
Ultimate
your cookies.
Warrior.
I would have.
What kind you get?
Nope. Done.
He bought some Samoas because he's a
done
Rikishi
ruined
fan.
my show.
The chocolate peanut butter ones are the best ones.
By the way, the Samoas aren't called Samoas anymore.
Why not?
I don't know. They have
Yeah,
a
why
different.
are they
Now
called?
they're like caramel coconut, whatever. I guess
That's
it's
too
racist.
low.
I don't ever buy
know.
Girl Scout cookies because I like Oreos better,
It's true.
and Girl Scout cookies are trash.
No, Samoas
Hot
are pretty
take.
good. I hate coconut and Samoas are good.
That is a hot take.
Girl Scout cookies suck.
You want to guess two things here: the star rating for Ultimate Warrior and Helmsley, and also when you do want to guess Warrior's age here at WrestleMania 12.
Negative 7 stars for the rating.
And he's 36.
Okay,
I've just been informed. I've been informed Samoas are now called Caramel Delights.
Who told you that?
Dumb.
My lady friend.
Mm.
She is watching and messaged me.
The Ultimate Warrior was 38 there,
Hi, Sarah. 38?
and it got -1 star.
No, that's his guess.
No, he's looking it up on the interwebs.
No, it's his guess.
I said negative
here,
7 stars.
Yeah, hey Tim, I'll tell you this: he's wrong. How about that?
I'm gonna say Ultimate Warrior was 41.
He was 39.
I was
So
close.
it wasn't wrong.
You were.
He said 39.
I said 39 originally, then
Your
said
first guess
36,
was
then said
39.
30. Yeah.
And his the star rating was a dud, which is
That's what I
probably
said. Negative 7
appropriate.
stars.
Up next, we have Undertaker against Diesel. This is 1646.
Diesel's walking out now. I didn't mind this match. I thought it was good.
You know, Diesel takes a lot of shit, and I always say he's the lowest rating champion or lowest drawing champion. The business was in the shitter when he was the champion. I never.
By the way, Bret Hart didn't do real good either.
No, I mean, nobody did from 1993 to 96, but
I mean, at least Diesel was good at wrestling.
I thought for being as big as he was, I thought Diesel was decent.
I did too.
Decent.
I mean,
Diesel.
how's he supposed to really succeed when he's SummerSlam, one of the biggest shows of the year, and he's facing Mabel? Like, what are we doing here?
King of the Ring.
His match at WrestleMania 11 with Shawn Michaels was really good. The feud with Sid could have been better.
So I remember one of the episodes of Click This, he talked about this match with Undertaker, and he said he knew this, was essentially it, right? We just discussed he had the In Your House after this, but Undertaker asked for Diesel here, so Diesel was like, okay, put his working boots on tonight for the Undertaker, and I don't remember this match. I remember it happening. I don't remember anything about it, so I'm actually curious to see what a working Kevin
Diesel
Nash.
had said that originally he was supposed to go over here till he told him that he was leaving.
Right. So I'm curious to see what a working Kevin Nash looks like. So we certainly did not see it in WCW.
No, he was very lazy in WCW.
I wouldn't say lazy. He was just always on. In what scenario was he ever in a match where you're like, man, Kevin, he's really outpowered here?
Well, I mean, he tagged for the first couple of years.
And there's that.
So, and Scott did all the work.
Because he was booked in a way, even when he faced Goldberg at Starrcade, like, you thought, is the scoreboard on? It is. There was
That's the timer for later.
That's right. The thought, there was a thought in everyone's head, like, Nash might actually do this. Of course, it went down stupid, but I mean, it wasn't outside the realm of possibility it could happen.
See, I look at Goldberg the same way I look at the Ultimate Warrior. Hot trash.
Mm. Well, again, when you go to have a match on Nitro and Lord Steven Regal takes your ass to school.
Are the Girl Scouts back?
One of them took a shit on his doorstep.
I think, Timmy, it's your turn.
Like-
He's got to catch his breath.
No, I'm getting ready to beat the shit out of some kids.
He's got to catch up on his internet also. You need to pay that bill, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Now it's my turn. That means it's my turn. Let's go to Timmy's Trivioki.
Figaro. Figaro, 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 Figaro.
That's not Tosca.
Ugh, my ears. My neck, my back.
Yep. Yeah, I remember. Everyone remembers when Elvis performed that.
Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take it. Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty mama. Key Largo, Montego, baby. All right, March 1996, my junior year of high school, Dave. Song number one, clue number one. This is a song by R&B singer Tony Rich from his 1996 debut album, Words, released as a debut single November 7th, 1995.
What was the artist?
It's the Tony Rich Project.
Oh, I don't
And
know.
then he was the Tony Rich Project.
It's tomorrow morning. I'ma hit the dusty roads. Gonna find you wherever.
Dusty
Ever
Yeah,
Rhodes.
you
what's
might
the name? All you
go.
gotta do is get the name.
Gonna undo my heart and hope you come back to me.
Eventually, you're gonna get to the title.
Sad
Keep
when the
going.
nights are low, nights are lonely, days are so sad, and I just keep thinking about the love that
Keep
we
going.
had. Now I'm missing you,
I think my
and
night just
nobody knows it but me.
Days are so sad.
Yes, I just keep thinking about the love that we had. Now I'm missing you, and nobody knows it but me.
By the way, Zoe Lopez on Twitter just said he equates Ultimate Warrior and Goldberg, which I think we would agree with that.
That's an insult to Goldberg, actually.
Hmm.
Goldberg's not racist. Maybe.
That is true. Or homophobic. As
Could
far
be.
as we know.
As far as we know. Song number two, clue number one. This is a song by American singer Joan Osborne for her debut studio album, Relish.
Joan Osborne. Like, wait, what relish? Like on a hot dog?
I think it's more like she's relishing that she's got an album.
I want a hot dog.
Anyway,
Joan Osborne, that was
nope, stop. Get ready for clue number two. This was a hit around the world,
What?
topping the charts in Australia.
Just Scuttlebutt was she was Ozzy Osbourne's daughter back
Yes,
in the
I
day.
remember that too.
She was
Yeah.
not. She was a very attractive lady, though. Whew.
Hot
First
dog.
woman
talking
I
hot
ever
dogs.
seen with a nose ring.
Hot dogs is a popular topic right now in
What?
the chat.
Zol didn't like my singing. That's bullshit.
Why would you not like our singing?
Inappropriate, Zoe. Inappropriate.
Jen
Yeah, that
hates
song
that
sucked.
song.
Yeah, that song sucked.
Whatever.
Next, 96 is prime, man. This is good music right here.
I know.
And Timmy's
All right,
picking
song
shoes.
number three, clue number one. This is a
Shit,
song
no
by
career.
American rapper Coolio. It was the third
Coolio.
single
Gangsta's
from his
Paradise.
studio album, Gangsta's Paradise. Clue number two, Larry Flick from Billboard.
1,
described the
2,
song-
3, 4. Get your woman on the floor. Gonna get up,
Gotta
to
get
get
up.
down. Gonna get up, to get
One,
down.
2, 3, 4. Get your woman.
Get your woman
Gotta
on the
get
floor.
up and
Gonna
get
get
down.
up, to get down. Gonna
Gotta
get up, to get down.
down.
What up, everybody? It's Coolio.
Get your woman on the floor.
Coolio.
Gotta get up and get down. gotta get up and get down.
I killed this one. We should do 96 every week.
I just
I
think-
agree.
I just
96 was
Timmy's
the best
hey,
year
what
ever.
if I pick all music? I know TJ's got no chance.
Do you know how many? I mean, I almost went with Breakfast at Tiffany's from Deep Blue something.
I probably would have got that before Dave.
What about
One Sweet Day, Boys to Men, Mariah Carey. So much good stuff. Time, Hootie and the Blowfish.
Oh, how dare you skip that?
I'm
one?
going to see them this summer. They're
'Cause this was
performing in
better.
Cincinnati, June 7th, I believe. I've got to get there.
You gonna buy me a ticket?
Hit the clip.
No.
Now it's time for Game Fave. Have you seen it?
You slip her the hot beef injection.
We're men in tights, tights.
Maybe next time, think before it leaves.
I tell you that I got nothing, guys.
The score is tied 4-4.
Uh-oh.
Amy did good.
3 movies this week,
I
and
win.
all 3 of them are awesome.
Gotta be
Are
a
they
winner.
all Dave's faves?
Nope, here we go.
Movie
Movie
was
number
terrible.
A, with a budget of $55 million. Our first movie this week grossed more than $122.1 million at the box office. This is an American action thriller film. When terrorists seize control of an airliner, an intelligence analyst accompanies a commando unit for a midair boarding operation.
Patriot Games.
This stars Kurt Russell, Halle Berry, John Leguizamo, and Steven Seagal.
Oh, jeez. What?
Here we go.
I'm sorry. Did you say Kurt Russell and Steven Seagal are in the
Yes.
same movie?
And John
This is-
Leguizamo?
Yes, this is the only film I have ever seen where Steven Seagal actually dies in it. He sacrifices himself in this movie. Kurt Russell is the main character of the movie.
I have no idea.
Yeah, no, I got nothing.
Executive decision.
Never heard of it.
What? You've never seen it? You
I
gotta
think
watch it.
a movie executive should have made the decision not to make that movie.
That movie is How Porn Begins. Kurt Russell, Halle Berry. Yeah. Okay.
Steven Seagal?
He does karate porn. Kick you in the vag.
Uses
That
a kendo
sounds-
stick.
Terrible. Terrible.
Here we go. Movie number B. With a budget of $31 million. Our second movie this week grossed $37.5 million at the box office.
That ain't good.
Felt that in my nuts.
This is an American military comedy movie.
In the Army now. Major
Lieutenant
Payne.
Commander Tom Dodge is assigned as captain to the USS Stingray, an old diesel
McHale's
submarine that has seen better days.
Down Periscope.
Down Periscope. Lieutenant, you're almost out of uniform. There you go, TJ Stebbins with a 5-4 lead. We're just going to go ahead and end the game now.
Can I tell you my favorite line of the movie? So Rob Schneider's down in the gully testing all the food, and the chef's like, "I don't understand."
Did
what
you
the
just call it
issue
the
is."
galley?
The gully. He goes, "I don't understand what the issue is. It smells
galley.
like." He goes, "It smells like creamed corn." He goes, "It's deviled ham." Just me? Okay, that's cool. I just won't say anything anymore.
Here we go.
So many good movies in 96, and you picked these two turds.
What?
Well, I picked
Down
March
Periscope
of
is great, you
96.
bitch.
Yeah, Down Periscope is awesome. Karate Bukkake. All right.
We need to start doing t-shirts again.
Karate Bukkake is a
No,
great
she'll
team.
try to get a cut of that. We don't want that one.
Well, she can get a cut of that. Here we go. Movie number C. Are you ready? With a budget of $39 million.
It's a lot.
That was
Our
what the
third
last
movie this
made.
week grossed $37.9 million at the box office.
Ouch!
This is one of Dave's faves.
Of course it is. 'Cause it
Booyah!
lost money.
This is also an American military comedy film.
God, I just named like 4.
The master sergeant in charge of the motor pool at Fort Baxter, a small United States Army base that develops new military technology,
In the Army now.
Nope.
exploits his position. They're water people over in Bahrain or some shit. Exploits his position and directs a number of scams ranging from gambling to renting out military vehicles. Major Colin Thorne, an officer from the U.S. Army Inspector General's office, arrives at the camp and begins to scrutinize his record and conducts a general inspection to determine if the base should remain open in light of recent defense cutbacks and to get revenge to settle an old score over a woman. This movie stars Steve Martin, Dan Aykroyd, and Phil
Sergeant
Hartman.
Bilko.
Sergeant Bilko.
Sergeant Bilko.
Timothy.
We're tied.
Oh shit! Let me come up with another one.
We're tied 5-5. There's got to be a winner, except if you don't get the first one, then we can go tied again.
Jandy said, "I said you missed me singing." She goes, "I tapped out after hearing about hot blondes in your hotel room."
That's fair.
All right, so we're gonna go one more movie because why not?
I like it.
Let me do some digging. Talk about the match.
All right, so again, I'm impressed. So, Timmy, you were beating up children or whatever it was you were doing at your house. So I was discussing on an episode of Click This. Kevin Nash was discussing this match. Again, he knew he was coming out the door. In Your House was still coming up, and but he said he was going to put on his working boots for Undertaker going out the door because Undertaker picked him for this match. And I was curious to see what a working Kevin Nash looks like. And so far, I mean, this has been a good match, especially for two giants.
Or were you expecting less with Undertaker?
And imagine the year before he's wrestling King Kong Bundy.
Well,
who's
Bundy
a dump
was
truck.
You're stealing money, Bundy.
Yeah. And he was a dump truck by that point.
Well, no, he was a moving truck. I've seen that movie.
Oh.
Richard Pryor.
We got a bear
I gave
hug
him the
here.
wrong finger.
We got a bear hug here by Diesel and the Undertaker. Referee, one of the more glorious mullets here you'll ever see in 1996, Jack Doan.
I don't think that. I mean, that's not a glorious mullet. It's a very terrible mullet.
That's why it's glorious to me. It's called sarcasm.
But it's not long. It's a short mullet.
Can I tell you a story about Germany?
Sure. I mean,
so
we got nothing else to do. So
I mean, there's still a lot of this match left.
There's still
Hold
a lot
on.
of this pay-per-view.
Here we go. It's the tiebreaker. You ready?
Okay. I mean,
This movie came out in February.
oh, it was probably still playing in March.
Came out in February, so it was probably still playing in March. Here we go. For the win. On a budget of $50 million.
God.
This movie grossed more than $150.2 million at the box office.
Made
Okay.
money. Good for it.
This is a 1996 American action thriller film. Terrorists steal nuclear warheads from the
The Rock.
U.S. military, but don't count on a pilot and park ranger spoiling their plans. This movie stars John Travolta and Christian
Broken
Slater.
Arrow.
Broken Arrow. TJ Stevens with the win for the month.
Finally, he wins movies.
I love that movie. Howie Long is in that movie.
We're in season 3, and I don't think he's won movies yet.
He won them every time I was giving them to him.
That's true. This was Sol Lopez's guess.
Correct.
Here's zero.
Godzilla.
Gojira.
So I was in Germany, as you know, and I did not know this, but Germany does not understand like
English,
us, like the whole dichotomy. No, stupid. Actually, most of them speak English, but like the whole dichotomy between us, right? We just talk shit to each other constantly, but it's like a term of endearment. So we're in the shop, and it's me, one of the electricians I work with, and the electrical engineer. We're just talking mad shit to each other the entire time we're in the shop. And at one point, this dude Frank, who's the engineer on the project, turns around, looks at me, and he kind of, sets me off the corner. He goes, "You guys picked to come on trip, yes?" And I go, "Yeah, we were picked out of the group." And he goes, "You guys know like each other?" And I was like, "No, we get along great. Why?" And he's like, "You're very mean. You're very mean to each other." And I was like, "No, it's just
Why
how
are
we
you making this German guy Japanese, by the way?
It's not. I'm not." And he goes, "I was like,
You
this is
are.
how we are. We just talk shit." And he goes,
Timmy, you want Jen's Carson Palmer jersey?
"I
It
don't
probably
understand.
won't fit, and I already got my own. Thanks.
You can hang it up on your wall.
It will. It'll fit his
How's the
titties."
OnlyFans going, Jen?
Wow.
Free
plug.
promotion.
Actually, so
There you go.
here's what we'll do. We want to use the t-shirt Karate Bukkake.
and we'll
We-
promote your OnlyFans.
We'll keep the cut. We'll promote your OnlyFans. How's that? By the way, that's a real thing. Not making that up. Also,
Are you
question,
sure?
anyone want this Carson Palmer jersey? The answer is no.
Only if it's an Arizona Cardinals one.
What's it? Timmy, give us a time cue here.
Oh, that requires me. I got 111, 43, 44.
41, 42. Undertaker's choking Diesel.
So we're
Diesel
all about
punched
the same
Undertaker.
place.
Punched
We're all about the
Undertaker.
same place.
Punched Undertaker. Okay, so the next night, Mankind made his debut.
Yes.
Who did he wrestle on Raw in his first match?
Oh, I used to know this.
Scotty Too Hottie.
No, 96?
It
He was a jobber back then.
It was an enhancement. He was. Scott
It
Taylor.
was not an enhancement talent.
It was not enhancement talent.
Kind of, but not.
Duke the Dumpster Drosy.
Bob Sparkplug Holly.
Really?
The Undertaker wrestled
he was
in the
a
main
jobber
event that night.
He wrestled who?
Before it was Bob Sparkplug Holly. The Undertaker
up,
wrestled
dude.
in the main event that night before being attacked
Right.
by Mankind. Who
Right.
did the Undertaker defeat in the main event of Raw that night?
See, Undertaker here's a baby face. Heel mid card, I'm gonna guess.
Very mid card.
Okay.
Became a WWE champion.
Later on.
Yep.
Helmsley.
Justin Hawk Bradshaw.
Oh, very good. Thank you.
Seen
Dave.
it live. Seen it live.
Yeah, I will say, given Kevin Nash's testimony of him putting his working boots on here, I'm digging this match. I don't agree with the star rating. We'll go over that when the match is over, but I think this is good. I enjoyed this. By the way, we're completely done with our part of the show. Now we just have the wrestling show to do. We still have an hour and 35 minutes to go, but luckily, there's only the end of the Goldust Piper fight and then the main event. That's all that's left of the show.
Good, so I can stab myself in the eye.
Well, no, you're wearing eyewear, so no, you can't do that. But
I might use the eyewear.
Oh,
Just saying. We need Miss Amy here with the cards. That would be fun to do during this.
that would be fun.
Send her a message,
almost
Dave. Tell her to bring her cards.
I almost had a really stupid question. I'm glad I didn't.
What cards?
No. Undertaker gets the win after the tombstone. So let's see. Final sentence of the write-up. He did it again. And then when he went for the pin, Undertaker grabbed him by the throat. Diesel used a back suplex and Undertaker's head up again. Undertaker then finished Diesel off with a nice flying clothesline, a chokeslam, and a tombstone. What is the star rating for this match? What happened? In my opinion, a very good big man match. What do you think the star rating was?
3.
2 3/4.
2.25.
I like this match. I dug it.
I did too.
Anyone else think Undertaker's kind of a compiler?
I will stab you in the neck with a knife.
Talking to my boy all wrong. Do it again. Stab you in the face with a soldering iron. So Dave kind of mentioned earlier that the Body Donnas and the Godwins
Skip and Zip?
was a pre-match or pre-show match. Actually, the Body Donnas won the tag titles in that match. It was the end of a tournament.
We already talked about this.
I'm aware. There was
Tony Khan in
another-
WWE in 96?
No. There was another pre-show match. There was 2. Do you know what the other one was? And you're never going to guess it, just so you know.
Jeff Hardy versus Matt
Nope.
Hardy
Nope. Mm-mm.
as jobbers.
It's I will give you this hint. They are parodies of people.
Oh, yeah. It was
fake
Huckster and Nacho Man.
Fake.
Huckster and Nacho Man.
Nacho Man, Huckster, and Billionaire Ted. Here comes Goldust screaming into the arena with I mean, I used to have a full size Bronco. and I
That's
miss the
not
show.
an arena. That's there he is. That's a
No, this
parking
is
lot.
the arena.
It's a parking lot.
Almost Roddy Piper almost committing vehicular manslaughter there, killing Goldust. So let's do this as well. I see that. I love this.
I'll be right back. Got to put my kid to bed.
All right. So, well, we'll wait. I have the numbers here for the show. I'll wait to do that until Dave comes back.
Nah, keep going. Hey, there's Marlena.
Roddy Piper here in '96 is my shit. Like, I was a big fan of Piper. Well, as you know, because I still think the following year at Super Brawl 7, Roddy Piper should have won the world title. Should have beat Hogan. And you will not convince me otherwise.
Jen is now tweeting about the free promotion of her OnlyFans on our show. I'm thinking this OnlyFans might be a ruse. It might be like John Cena's OnlyFans.
Oh. For the record, none of us have seen it.
Maybe. Well, I'm not clicking any link Jen puts out there. There's no way. I don't know what kind of Saudi Arabian porn site I'm going to wind up at, but
all of a sudden I will be a subscriber of Reader's Digest.
Yeah. All of a sudden Sports Illustrated's up in my mentions. I'm not clicking it, Jen. Sorry.
No. Yeah, let's click. Look at my OnlyFans. Get a fucking rager in the middle of your show. What are we doing?
I'll give my computer Ebola.
Like, do one of these. Oh, Jen's OnlyFans is real. Excuse me for.
And there he went. I guess it was real.
So here we go. Roddy Piper, Goldust now in the ring. I love this
both
story
bleeding
of this fight. Well, no, they're actually not bleeding here. They had to recreate the end of the backlot brawl. But what is real is Roddy Piper's wrist is broken.
Yep.
Which happened from the backlot brawl. It was when he got it was the dumpster, I think, the dumpster shot. And so he's legit trying to tape his wrist up. He had his cast taken off just before he drove into the arena. All right, Dave, now that you're back, we're going to do numbers for the show, or for WrestleMania. As soon as I scroll back. And by the way, this got no star rating because it's not a match, technically. So we had...
It is. It's a match.
No, it's a brawl.
Horse shit.
I don't make the rules, bro. I didn't write this shit. So the announced attendance on TV is 18,852. Allegedly, according to the Observer, it's actually 15,855. 12,909 paid for a gate of $737,440. Allegedly, at the time, it's the largest grossing wrestling event west of the Rocky Mountains. And that was Hogan's Slaughter from WrestleMania 7. So they did $176,000 in merchandise. I don't see pay-per-view buy rate numbers. I don't see it, which is a shame. I guess I gotta look it up.
I'm looking it up right now.
Thank you. Well, Roddy and Goldust are just beating the shit out of each other.
Like legit beating the shit out of each other.
It's not real. So like here, right? I don't mind this part. I think I feel like this part still feels legit.
Okay, here we go. WrestleMania 12. Timmy C, how many buys do you think this pay-per-view got?
Let's do this.
230,000.
TJ Steppins, how many buys do you think this pay-per-view got?
I would say for the year they averaged 230, but this is WrestleMania. I'm going to go 310.
Okay, the number is between 230 and 310.
There you go.
290,000 buys.
That was closer.
Yeah, Price is right. You lose though.
Not great.
Price is wrong, bitch.
Not great, but not terrible for 96. I would say.
I mean, you were getting them to buy it at what about $49.99?
I believe it was. Yeah, I think 50 sounds right.
$29.99, $29.95 back then.
Really?
Not for Mania.
Oh,
Nah,
because
Mania had to be more.
There was no pre-show. There was no access. There was none of that shit. Like, if you remember, WrestleMania 2000 might have been the first time they started charging 50 because they had a stream all day. So when you bought WrestleMania 2000, you had the pay-per-view all day, not just for the show. So, like, here we got Goldust beaten away. Piper's making his comeback. To me, if you skip the lingerie part and go straight to the finish, this gets a lot less hate than when it gets now. And by hate, I mean this is not looked upon favorably. But again, I love this brawl. Especially at 11 years old. I love this a lot.
Looking it up right here. WrestleMania. Oh, that's 13. $29.95.
Terrible. I'd have charged double. Although there's a shitty Bret Hart match, so I probably wouldn't have.
I love being able to pay $90 a year or whatever I'm paying for Peacock, $60 a year.
Apparently, Jen just got her first OnlyFans subscriber.
Sweet.
And he may or may not be in our chat.
It's Joel or Zol,
Yeah.
not Joel. That's his OnlyFans name. Is it Joel Lopez?
Why don't you give us that link so we can put it in the chat and maybe look at it?
Yeah, put that link in the chat, Jen.
So we got Goldust getting stripped down.
How many people get Saudi Arabian porn with Ebola?
Do you remember where Goldust said he bought his lingerie for this show?
Fredericks of Hollywood.
Yep.
No.
Fredericks of Hollywood. Fredericks of Hollywood.
Really?
Oh no.
Oh
no.
Dave's in trouble.
No.
Lane Bryant. He bought his lingerie from Lane Bryant. Isn't that the big girl
Hollywood?
Hey girl.
What's
happening? I heard
Hey, turn your volume down.
I heard what?
Or put your AirPods in.
I don't have AirPods.
She's
Ignore
fine.
Timmy. Just continue.
Okay.
I heard your New Orleans story. I'm just saying.
I know a good lawyer.
This was 20 years before I met you. Doesn't count. Oh.
Where'd everybody else go?
They're backstage.
Oh, are we supposed to duke it out?
I guess so. What's up? You want to go?
Let's do it.
What's your hotel room temperature?
Hot.
Still hot?
Yeah, I had to sleep naked last night. It was too damn hot.
So tell them the story.
I think we should get a collab with Jen and Jandy on an OnlyFans.
We literally just plugged in OnlyFans, and then Jandy's like, I had to sleep naked in my hotel room last night.
It's a true story. I can tell you my window is open. It is freaking hot in here.
Where are you at?
New Jersey.
She's in Newark.
Newark.
Why?
No, I'm in Parsippany.
Same thing.
Well, just saying. For work. We had a conference.
Well, I was hoping you were going to blow New Jersey up because
when I was in Germany, my hotel room was hot because I don't know centigrade.
I would have Googled it.
I turned it up to 70.
Son of a bitch, my carpet's on fire. So here's what's great too. My first night there, I get in, jet lagged as all get out, and there's no shower curtain. It's like it's a window on a hinge that makes the wall of your shower.
I thought you were just water everywhere all over the bathroom.
So the window goes in towards the faucet of the shower. So the only way you can turn the shower on, unless you're just standing in the shower like a clown, is to fold the window and then reach around it like this to turn the water on. But I wasn't smart enough to do that. And I also did not look where the shower head was pointed before I turned it on. So I turned the shower on, blasts me in the face, floods my bathroom in the hotel. It's just everywhere. But here's the fun part. So I go down after that. We're getting ready to go to dinner. And then, go to the bar afterwards. It's Germany. And I'm telling that's I just got blasted in the face in my shower, which was incredibly hot as well. And I flooded my bathroom. Literally all 10 of us were like, yeah, I just did that too. So I don't know why, but all shower heads in Germany face outside. I don't know why that is.
Did you ask any of the German people how, like, why?
No.
You know how to say? You say Dugenschnauzer das Water.
That's Wasser. It's actually das Wasser. Minerva Wasser. Is how you bitte. Wasser bitte.
Jandy tried to move us to Germany. Crazy lady.
I love Germany.
I tried. He did not want to. He didn't want to do Germany or Italy.
I actually have a soccer jersey and a scarf hanging in my office now. You just can't see it. It's too far off frame.
Can't do it. I got to be near the beach.
We are not near the beach right now there, love.
What time is it in Germany?
They're 5 hours ahead. So they're 5 hours behind. So
they're ahead.
No, you're right. They are ahead. So it's 2 o'clock in the morning there right now.
No.
Carla Olson. Lauren said the shower she had was like that too. TJ.
Yep, there's my soccer jersey and scarf right there.
Hey, look at that Longoria jersey.
Yeah, my
Jandy scored that in Korea for me.
What was the Dalvin Cook? His jersey's right behind it. So.
She got that in Korea too.
But did you actually buy it in Korea, or did you order it from Korea?
I bought it. I went there.
Where'd you go in Korea?
All over. I went twice. So I went to all of our army installations. The first time I went north or south. The second time I went north.
I see.
And then I went shopping in Osan.
I would say South Korea is probably my top 5 bucket list right now. I think
I want to go to South Korea.
I think interesting.
I liked Okinawa better.
Oh, Japan's like number 1.
Yeah.
I want to go to Japan, and I want to go to Korea, but
I would say right.
I didn't love it. I mean, the shopping was fun. I'm glad I went, but like, I don't know. I guess I went for work.
Like, we need to go and we need to get my uncle to take us.
Yeah, I guess if I went and enjoyed it, like not just work, it would have been okay.
I would say right now my top 5, because Germany was on there. Now cross that off. I would say it's Japan's number 1. London and Toronto have been up there for a long time for me.
We were going to go to London a couple years ago. We were going to go to the Bucks game in London.
Yeah.
And it got announced, and we started looking at getting tickets to go to the Bucks game. And my sister says, "Okay, guys, I'm engaged. The wedding it was the same weekend as we were going to be in London."
Wow. Rude.
So we canceled all plans for London, and a month later, she and her fiance broke up.
Whore. That's not funny, but it's kind of funny.
Ridiculous.
So here comes the boyhood dream ziplining from the top of the arena.
Come true.
So, honey, this match we're getting ready to watch is like an hour and 2 minutes long.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, so I think you and I should go FaceTime or something because this sounds horrible and I don't want to watch this crap.
Well, what's fun is all of the new members of our Patreon network said they were going to run in tonight. None of them have. So that's
Did
fun.
you pull this one up about Bumwine Bob driving?
Yeah,
through
I drove through Persephone today. Go figure.
But
she also has an OnlyFans.
Who, Bumwine?
Persephone.
Oh, that's whatever. So so Japan, London, Tokyo, Ireland.
Kathy?
We're going to Ireland soon.
And 5's tough. I don't know if I want to do Brazil or New Zealand.
Ooh.
That one's tough.
My dad lived in Brazil for 3 years.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he lived in London.
There, right?
Yeah, he lived in London for 2 years and did the Y2K project in London.
Cocaine farmer.
And then he moved to Brazil for 3 years because he lived in Sao Paulo. He likes to tell me the story before he learned how to speak Portuguese. He and a coworker went to a pizza restaurant one night, get pizza. Couldn't talk to the waiter because the waiter only spoke Portuguese. So he tried to draw a pizza because he wanted mushrooms on his pizza. and he was trying to draw mushrooms, and the guy looked at him like he was
Why
crazy.
are you drawing a dick, sir?
He thought he was drawing dicks on the pizza.
The guys in the
guys looking at him like,
kitchen
"What are
were
you
having a
guys
great time
doing?"
that night.
We don't have tube steak pizza, sir. Can you please put that
He
down?
wants nut all over his pizza. That's fine.
So I think we need to do a family trip, all of us, to Japan.
Germany.
I would
sister
love to
lives
go
in
back
Germany.
to Germany. I told you, so I hated soccer. And I told you after
I still
going
hate
to a German Bundesliga soccer game, I would go back just to watch a soccer game. That shit is crazy.
We
I
might
think
go
we're
to
gonna
one.
try and see
We're
one.
gonna
aren't
try and
we?
go to one when we go to Ireland. I
They're
gotta get with
nuts.
I gotta get with Adam O'Neill. He's supposed to be hooking us up. So he just got tickets to the football game.
Nice.
Maybe we'll
He's
get
sitting.
lucky.
He's sitting right beside us in the section right next to us
Nice.
at the game. He
Maybe
texted
we'll
me
get
the other
lucky
day.
and they'll book like a triple threat football game between the Bucks, the Bears, and the Bengals in Frankfurt.
In August.
I'd go.
Maybe.
In August. So it's preseason. So we went to a German Bundesliga game, and in the 70s, Mönchengladbach, which is the name of the town I was in,
Bless you.
they were like the shit in soccer. Not so much now, but they were playing their biggest rival when I was there. So the crowd, like they do chants the entire game. It's intense.
I do that in my living room watching Florida State.
I've seen it actually.
TJ, what do they
Yeah.
say when they chant? Like, is it like nice chants or like are they being bullies or what?
Oh no, there was a
They're
lot
in
of this.
German. He doesn't know.
There was a lot of this in the chants because so it's like college football. The opposing team has their own section, but here's the difference: it's surrounded in plexiglass, and there's also SWAT cops all the way up the stairs on both sides. And so
soccer, this blows my mind. That is
it's crazy,
fucking worst sport ever.
So
Dave, it is the most popular sport in the entire world, except for here.
It's stupid.
So the opposing team would win. I'm sorry, the opposing team would score a goal, and all of a sudden, the away team's colors were red and white. There'd be red road flares going off in the opposing team. Now we had the suite package, and we got patted down getting the stadium. And I'm like,
the sweet life.
Well, it wasn't kind of. I mean, it's a lounge you get to go to in between, like before the game, in between, and then the end. But we looked at the guy that brought us. His name was Matthias, and I go, Matthias, they patted us down. How'd they get those road flares in? He goes, trying to figure out how you say in America,
keister
in butt. And I go,
they
what?
keistered them.
So I'm hoping. I told my buddy Chris, who was there with me, like, I hope they put the flare end down, right?
That's why. That's why they bring their ladies with them.
And they scored 3 times, and every time, road flares are going up. And then
that's crazy.
The home teams, by the way, the game ended in this tie 3-3. So then the home team scored.
Disappointing.
Yeah, the home team scores, and then I look over in the home section. There's fucking smoke grenades going off. What is going on in here?
Those are a lot bigger than road flares. We got problems here.
They have very large butts in Germany, apparently.
Good thing they didn't have. Remember that we did the soccer story, and like,
oh yes,
like 100 people died.
Yeah, they got trampled.
Yeah. Too bad that didn't happen while you were
why
there.
they put them in plexiglass, and they also have their own separate entrance.
Well,
that blows my mind.
This stadium was much more sturdy than that one. I'm pretty sure.
It didn't fall apart while we were there. So yes, absolutely.
And here's my favorite part: we're walking into the stadium, and by the way, 54,700 people were there, sold out.
Was that how many tickets were sold, or how many people were there?
Yes.
and were they inflated?
The people inflated? I don't think so.
Yes, with road flares and smoke grenades.
Oh, that's right. So we're walking up. It's kind of a weave around, and also you walk by all the team stores and stuff to get into the stadium. And there's a tree sapling. Couldn't be that big around. And then there's just in the grass, right? Only tree for miles out there. And there's a guy, and there's like a bicycle rail fence that guides you where you're supposed to walk. There's one guy just pissing in front of that tree. It's daylight.
Should have been
by the way.
pissing on the tree.
It's daylight, by the way. And then I look to see on the other side of where he's pissing is the stadium, and there's people just walking around, and he's just dick out to the entire stadium. Like I had to go now.
Was it something he should have been proud of, or no?
I didn't run around him and be like,
"Wow,
dude.
Let me see it."
The German stereotypes are wrong. You guys are hung. Congratulations. High five. Actually,
You are the superior race. Shit.
Don't high five me. I need hand sanitizer.
Give him a low one.
You could sword fight.
Just give him a quick little.
Play Dingo Wars.
I don't like this story anymore.
So, Jandy, how's New Jersey? Anyone peeing on a tree? Well, there are lots of people peeing on trees.
She didn't sleep last night. She's tired.
I'm very tired. I learned that turn signals are super optional here.
That's about 42 of
you
the
really
states.
don't have to have adequate space when switching lanes. What?
They just
Why are you
when they want
driving?
to come in, they just come in. She got to the airport
Yeah,
yesterday.
also
Had
the
to wait
problem
an
with
I think
hour.
I don't have good internet.
She had to wait for an hour to get her rental car. And they told her, okay, we have an electric car. And she goes, okay, well, how does that work?
I did.
They said, well, you have to bring it back
Here's your
fully
extension
charged.
cord.
They said, you have to bring it back fully charged. She's like, where do I charge it?
Isn't that kind of impossible to bring it back fully charged?
They said it takes like 2 hours to
You're
charge it.
driving
by the way.
there, you're going to use charge.
I don't
All
think I
right,
have
we're going to
any
give you a
internet.
Tesla. Here's your D-cell battery. Better be charged when you bring it.
Her internet died.
Well, she's in a Motel 6, so.
That New Jersey shitternet.
I doubt she's in a Motel 6.
Yeah, no.
We'll wait for her to come back.
By the way, you want to hear the best part of the Germany trip? I got to claim those miles on United. And on the way back was business class. What's up?
Wow. So now we're in minute 1 of 60 of this match, so we can talk about something else now.
We've got a ways. We've got a ways here. So, what do y'all want to talk about? The Bears just signed traded for Mike Evans. Or not?
The Bengals have
Keenan Allen.
the largest duo
Mike
of
Evans just
tackles.
re-signed with
I
the
meant Keenan Allen.
Buccaneers.
I meant Keenan Allen.
The Bengals have the largest duo of tackles, offensive tackles, ever in the NFL.
We need a center real bad.
Oh, Jen wants to know what you're going to do with those miles.
Haven't decided. Maybe that might pay for the Japan trip.
Should use them on our OnlyFans. You can pay in miles there.
Well, I mean, I'm in then. My wife won't find out. My wife can see my bank account, so I can't do it that way.
There you go. Just what do you do? I'm paying in United miles.
Who the fuck? Who are you following on OnlyFans? Like, oh, this girl, she needed help for college. I felt bad.
25 years ago.
That's a dick thing to say. Oh, you guys are gonna love the star rating for this one.
Bengals have that. Oh, we can also talk about the Bengals having 2 players that had children born on the same day this week.
Okay.
Evan McPherson, our all-world kicker, and Logan Wilson, our all-world linebacker. Both had children same day.
Maybe it was a foursome.
I don't
Swingers.
think so. That's weird. Would be weird. That's
Imagine
some
being the
Tampa
kid.
Bay shit.
Imagine being the kid and finding out. Like, it's
Oh,
so
now we
cool
got the scoreboard. We're 4.5 minutes in.
It's
to
so
it.
cool that you're my dad. Well, actually, that guy's dad.
It's
Oh,
the
we got a
kicker.
run in finally. Andrew Hermes is here. You have
Can we get a
lovely
better
house.
one? Can we find a better run in?
It was a slow walk-in for those of you playing along at home. It was
Yeah.
not a run-in.
We see your figure.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't
don't regularly use your restaurant, though. I hear that's bad for you. Lots of
Yeah,
cholesterol.
no. Ice cream machine always working, baby.
I don't believe it.
That doesn't make it good for you.
I didn't say it was good for you. By the way, we've divided this up because of our Powerball pot that we have going. The right side of the screen is going to be the riches, and the left side of the screen is going to be the poors because they didn't join in.
Well, see, what makes me happy is you did that in the middle while I was doing my thing called a job, so I couldn't answer you. And then you went.
You don't have your phone?
And I spend no money.
I
on
was
Powerball.
busy doing electrical things.
Yeah.
Can I read you guys a headline? I want your thoughts on it. I kind of know Dave's because he replied to us.
Oh my God, 54, 13, 12, 11. I can't sit here for 54 more minutes.
You're gonna. So here,
I'm gonna turn on basketball and come back to this.
Let's get your thoughts on this headline. Oregon man arrested and accused of grabbing women's feet and rubbing them on his face.
Yeah, I commented on that on Twitter today.
Doesn't surprise me a damn bit.
Well, it's Oregon for one thing, and that's the Wild West these days.
That is correct. I've never been to Oregon, but I've been to Washington State twice, and I was stationed there for 3 months.
But how is he getting people? How is he grabbing women's feet? I mean, just the mechanics of that crime.
With his hands.
Mind-boggling.
There's a lot going on.
That's what I'm saying. It's just the mechanics of it in itself.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot. I wonder if he's going to like strip clubs and just when they're walking by on the stage, just sneaking in like, ah.
No, their heels are way too high.
The shoe show.
Although 42 strippers have broken their ankles in Oregon this year because he keeps grabbing them and knocking them over.
I was going to say, the fact that you know that.
I had the same thought, but my thought was more safety. Like, why the fuck are so many strippers breaking their ankles?
That's
they need like some safety mats up there or something.
All right, let me pull it up.
What are you looking at? Like Hermes.
His wiener.
Keep looking down.
The iPad.
Oh,
so I can watch the show with you and make fun of Bret Hart. Or were we not doing that tonight?
Yeah, Bret Hart sucks. You hear that, Justin Davis? Bret Hart sucks.
We'll make fun of him the last 5 minutes. I'm not making fun of him for an hour. He doesn't deserve all that.
I'm not saying I just did this, but
no, he doesn't deserve that exposure.
I'm not saying that I just did this, but did you guys actually click on Jen's OnlyFans?
No.
I didn't see the link.
OnlyFans.
I saw the link. It was like, that's got to be some Saudi Arabian porn bullshit.
I'm going to show you her home screen for her OnlyFans. Are you ready?
Well, it won't affect me, but go right ahead.
That's my girl right there.
Well done. Well played.
I love that TJ outed himself though. Like I'm going to check it, and then I'm going to do it live.
I was going to look up her username so I could actually be like, oh, and also when you're there, search for this person.
And apparently, Jen thinks she's Jesus, so that's weird. She said it's me.
Grambling beat Montana State 88-81 in overtime.
Am I rich yet?
No, you don't get paid for the first four. You didn't start till tomorrow's games.
This is the play-ins, dummy.
I think
we didn't even pick the 8 games.
Oh, we didn't pick anything for his.
No, not for them.
How do we find out who we have or what we have or how we win?
I sent it out, stupid.
Not to me.
What is your
You're in our group chat.
He is.
Here.
Are you on the Peacock, and what is the timestamp?
Timestamp is 1:45, 26, 27, 28. We still have an hour and 3 minutes to go.
I can't wait. I am going to have to pee before this match is over, though.
I do it every time those damn Girl Scouts show up at my house.
You pee on them?
Wow.
You
That's
are
the way I should handle it.
All right, Timmy, open up your text message and let's talk.
I'm open.
This is what we're doing right now. Here's the group chat out loud.
All right, so Timmy C, let me find your one pick.
Yeah, because you tried to get me to buy 2. Are you crazy?
I bought 5, 6.
Well, you're running the damn. All right, here I am. Let's see. I am. I don't even know what any of this means.
I will
I'm the
tell
top
you.
row. The fourth one.
All right,
to
got
the
you.
right.
So for the first round, the games that start tomorrow.
Okay.
If the home team finishes with a 9, so if they have 79, and the away team has 0, so say they win 79 to 70, or
Okay.
79 to 80, the other team wins. Whatever, you win the $15 for that game.
Okay.
Then in the second round, your home team number is 2 and 1.
All right. So what do I win?
I would
So for
kill
the
an
first round,
elevator
you win
music sound effect
$15
right
per game.
I've already spent 25.
Usually everybody wins something. So the second round, each game's worth $25.
That's impossible that everyone wins something.
I mean, not
They lose less.
Right.
now. Everyone
Okay.
gets a trophy.
So I mean, the third round,
It's a
the third round, so
participation tourney.
Sweet 16 games are all worth $50. So if you win the game, you win $50. Next round is 100. Final four is 200, and then the championship game, if your numbers hit, you win $420.
I'm gonna win
So
that one.
you're gonna run this. This is only one.
How much do
sheet
you
the
win
whole
if you get a
time.
clean sweep? Like if every game during the tournament hits your number.
It's a $2,500 pot.
There you go. That's how much I want to win.
You ain't gonna do that.
Well,
What was your
there's
question?
$25 squares. There's 100 squares. Do the maths.
What was your question, Andrew?
Well, you're not. We're not. We're only. It's for the whole tournament. So your square is only good for the whole tournament.
Your square is, but after every round, the numbers change.
Okay, so you're okay. That's
So
what I
that
was
way,
getting
say
at.
you got 0 and 0, you aren't stuck with 0 and 0 throughout the entire tournament.
Yeah, for 10
Yeah.
games or whatever. Gotcha.
Right. Well, it's like 63 games, but
Well, I only bought 2 squares, so you take that times, do the math and all that, and
so you
It
have
doesn't matter. I'm gonna win Powerball tonight. So
carry the 1 and all that. Yeah.
yep. So you can win. You have 126 chances
Yeah.
because there's 63 games.
Yep.
Mm.
So I see what
Okay.
Dave is saying, that almost everybody wins something, Tim, because there's so many games until you
And
get
so
down
many
to the
numbers.
last few. Yeah.
Don't worry. I keep track of all of it. I have spreadsheets and everything.
very-
It's all-
Everything
I'm
we've
just-
ever done with Dave, he's on it.
yeah. So
Regarding gambling, he's Rain Man. Everything else, fuck it, we're out.
Yeah.
yeah,
He
I like to
Dave-
gamble.
Dave is a low key nerd, but it only comes to gambling.
news
And
is
trip and vacationing.
Yes.
good news is
Correct.
Elite Eight. I actually have a letter instead of a number. So
Yeah, you have an R. So if somebody wins 14R to 7, you win.
14R.
hey,
or if Rhode Island makes it to the Final Four.
Is anybody on the topic of this show, and I know you guys, shit on it all week on social, amazed that Vince McMahon would put an hour-long match as his main event on his headline show?
Pat Patterson had to beg the dog shit out of him to do this.
There's no way it just happened. You know what I mean? This
No.
wasn't Vince's idea. He had to be sold.
This
was-
match should have ended in 20 minutes.
So from what I
or
remember,
7.
what I
Should have been a
remember
20-minute Iron Man match.
Was you guys shut the fuck up? So what I remember from Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard,
Aluminum Man match.
this was the plan going
Tin
back
Man.
to whenever, right? Survivor Series or whatever. So, but Pat Patterson was the one that kept wanting to do the Iron Man match going back years, but he never had the right 2 guys to do it. And when they finally pulled the trigger and went with Brett and Sean, then Pat was like, if any 2 guys can do it, it's these 2.
Right.
So then Pat begged Vince into submission. Actually, Pat came out of retirement for this match to agent it.
I think I would have liked to have seen Yokozuna and Van Vader do an Iron Man match.
We just saw him do 8, and they barely did that.
They
know.
stood on the apron the whole time and let Owen and whoever.
That's the real Iron Man. Who doesn't
The
die?
Rock and Triple H had a good Iron Man match because it was like 8-8.
I remember that.
Judgment Day
Undertaker's
2000.
return.
Yeah.
Yep. Judgment Day 2000.
Or it was like 6-6 or something like that.
5-5.
Here's the best part of this match right here. Super kick to the timekeeper.
I remember watching one.
Well, he's not going to ring the bell anyway. You got 45 minutes to wake his ass up.
I think it was Cena and Orton, and it was like 11-9, which is probably too far in the other direction.
Yeah.
I don't even like 30-minute Iron Man matches. No wrestling match should ever last longer than 16 minutes and 12 seconds.
Well, the Undertaker Diesel match did earlier.
That's as long as it should go.
It went 16-48.
Not a great match, but Kevin Nash was a great character.
I agree.
Yes. I always want to know who the guy was. Look at the front row, and there's a guy with long, dark black hair and sunglasses on. He kind of looks like Howard Stern.
Oh, what is
I think they hard cam?
Yeah.
I think they called him the Howard Stern guy.
He was always at these shows. My little brother and I hated that guy growing up.
Well, TJ hates him now, so.
I think he was an ECW guy also.
He was. He would go to ECW, and he would wear Mick Foley shirts a lot.
As he should. By the way, Mark Eaton dead.
Yeah.
At ringside. They just showed his carcass, this leg face out on the floor.
Meanwhile,
he doesn't have to wake up for another 43 minutes.
Yeah, meanwhile, if you turn AEW on tonight, you'll see 86 super kicks, and none of them will get a 3 count, let alone a dead cell from a ring announcer or timekeeper.
Here we go. They're replaying it.
You know, it'd be
in
great
the face
if they super kick the ring announcer or the timekeeper, and he just set up like, "What the fuck, man?"
he kicked up.
He'd kick out.
You hit me right in the face. Oh, is that Tony? That's Tony Chimmel.
Yeah.
That wasn't Eaton.
Well, he didn't slap his leg, so it's not a real super kick.
That's true. Everyone knows the thigh slap
Was
gives
that
you like
Tony
an
Kimmel?
extra
I
8
thought that
horsepower.
was Mark Eaton. Sorry,
I think it was
that
Jimmy Kimmel.
I thought that was Mark Eaton. You saying that's Tony Chimmel?
That's Tony Chimmel.
Well, stretcher job. All right, that's the best part of this match.
He's dead. He's literally dead.
Stretcher job for a timekeeper.
A stretcher job for Tony Chimmel.
Right. You're right.
Can we hit the fast forward button?
That's a young Tony Chimmel.
But now that we've talked to Mike Chioda, we know that like Rene Goulet was like, "Don't worry, we won't lead you away too far. You got to take the fucking ring apart at the end of the night, okay? Just relax." Jerry Lawler
26. There's still 42 minutes left of this crap.
But I had the closed captioning on, and I just read a sentence. I'm guessing Jerry Lawler said it. He just asked, "Is this match over yet?"
How do you turn the closed captioning on?
Well, on my Google browser, I believe you go to the little chat box in the left corner, bottom left corner. Should be in there.
No, I'm good. I'm on my Fire Stick. I ain't messing with it.
That's what she said.
I'll end up pausing it or something and then have to watch even longer.
Oh, you should definitely try it then.
So is the heat genuine for Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels? In this
I can't stand Bret Hart. Never have liked Bret Hart.
Okay.
Shawn Michaels is the greatest in-ring worker of all time.
I think he's a bitter butt wipe as an old man, but I love watching him wrestle.
I thought he was a good wrestler, but I never liked Bret Hart. Just I never got into him. And I mean, it like this when it was just him and Ric Flair in WCW, I liked Sting. But once Hogan came on, I didn't care about Sting anymore. When Hogan went over to WCW,
sure.
So I didn't care for Sting, and then I was never a big Sting fan. I would have liked to see him go to WWF. I think Sting messed up his whole career by not ever going to WWF till he was 55.
Yeah. Also,
but he looked so cool at the end of that match at Mania 31.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. What with his face paint falling off and his receding hairline,
and his hair is this big.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. When I was 11 years old. The day before, I had just turned 11 before this show. I hated Shawn Michaels. Pretty much.
Yeah, I even liked Shawn Michaels as a heel. Back when his run was Sherry, I was a big fan.
Well, then I didn't mind him. But this Shawn, and especially DX Shawn, I hated. I didn't like Shawn until he came back in 2002.
I hated Born Again Shawn.
I have a thought on Born Again Shawn, and I don't know. You guys may have a different thought. Without Born Again Shawn, you don't call Shawn Michaels the greatest in-ring performer in wrestling history.
Oh, I agree.
I
Well,
thought
no,
he
because
was.
he kept forfeiting titles when he was drug Sean.
Well, it's odd when it's obvious he's the best worker in the '90s. That's one thing, but then when you start putting him up against the likes of Triple H or Jericho or RVD or Kurt Angle or The Undertaker in that version of The Undertaker, all of a sudden it's a lot different than what you were seeing in the mid '90s.
Well, there is a longevity aspect to it, right? There's a reason why we don't talk about Blitzkrieg in that conversation. There's a reason why, as much as I love him, there's a reason. Unfortunately, there's a reason why we don't talk about Canyon in that same conversation. Canyon was just as good in the ring as anyone else, but these guys did it for 25 years on national television. Canyon didn't. Blitzkrieg lasted what, 2 years, maybe?
And WCW,
yeah.
And they did it at the highest level.
Correct.
That's the other thing. This is main event versus, no offense to Canyon, mid card, upper mid card. You know.
Well, Tommy Rich and Ricky Morton are still doing it here in a couple weekends, so they might make a claim on it.
I just love that we're like best workers of all time. Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Timmy's like Tommy Rich.
I was going to say, it could,
1981.
My good close personal friend Tommy Rich.
Yeah, you can almost get away with Ricky Morton, but you brought Tommy Rich into it, and that was a favorite.
Wild Bill Irwin is the shit.
Bill Irwin in World Class. Where's Pondwater? Well, Bill Irwin in World Class was legit.
Hey, it takes talent to wrestle in hockey skates.
We need to rest. We need to watch another World Class show.
No,
well, our next live we can do World Class. We got to figure out.
One was so terrible.
Oh, look who's here.
Who's here?
Mark Cyrus.
Oh, Moose is here.
Haven't seen Moose in forever.
Let's see. I'm going to look up. I'm going to go to our Dropbox and see what we got coming up for the month of May, because there will be a new poll out.
You should probably see April first.
We need to do some old late 80s, early 90s WCW show. I literally bought the WCW package for you guys.
TJ's like, let's see what's going on in September.
Fuck it. We're doing July next month. So let's see. We got upcoming for April. Click over here. 5 shows, 5 weeks in April. How about that? 5 Tuesdays anyway. Saturday night, WCW Saturday night from 1998.
Ooh, I'm out.
Oh, wait, Dave, wait till you hear the next one, buddy. WWF Old School.
Yeah!
April 1975.
Yes!
That is way too old. I'm not doing that.
Yes, you are.
Hey, Andrew, what do you do in the second week of April? We might need a co-host.
But what are you watching the second week of April?
I can't wait to watch Vern Gagne wrestle George Curious or whatever his name is. George. Curious George.
Also, Vern Gagne never wrestled in the WWF ever. But Dave, I'm going to make.
Did I say Vern? I meant Merle Gagne.
Merle Haggard. Dave, I'm going to make it up to you in week 3. You ready for week 3? It's from
better be in the 90s.
It's from 2002. We haven't done this. I think we've only covered one of these shows ever. XPW.
Oh, XPW. Yeah. Remember, we went through all that.
Ooh, Rob Black.
That was one of our best shows, and we did it live. XPW.
Live. Next show.
Remember, I told you that they did a taping with 26 matches in one day at Universal.
Yeah. I remember when they opened the show with Brian Knobbs. I'm like, what are we doing right now? Why is this clown opening the show? And it wasn't even like a match. He was just standing in front of a curtain, like yelling at people. Week 4. Clash of the Champions from April 89.
Okay.
Hey, I want to go over this again for any new listeners that are here. The Patreon filter-free network is changing.
It is changing.
It is now going to be the RAM network, wrestling and more. It's going to be sports, pop culture, and entertainment, along with pro wrestling, the RAM network.
I wrote it down in the paper.
Hermes is here with us. He's going to be joining the RAM network with TNA Top 10. along with Terry Weaver, T Weave.
He'll have a better camera and mic setup.
We also have
still a beautiful house that he's sitting in.
Yeah, the house is beautiful though.
We also have Talking Wrestling with Pondwater Dave. So
What?
Amy, Justin Davis are also in.
Yes.
The fun director, Justin Yent, will now be part of the Patreon.
Yes.
Allison Faye, the wrestling hair aficionado, is in on the Patreon along with TNA Top 10. She's now a member of that show as their producer. We are going to be bringing a ton of new content to our Patreon, and we want you all to subscribe. For the month of April, we're going to run a special where it is free. No payment for the month of April, and we are going to do just a blitz of content for you. And we picked April because WrestleMania 40 is right around the corner, and we want you guys there. We're going to do a lot of interactive shows with people. Anything you can shake a stick at, we're going to be doing. So, obviously, Wrestling with Commercials will be back.
Power of the Pen.
Power of the Pen with TJ. The first episode has already recorded. TJ, who was on Power of the Pen with you last night?
The author of the biography of the Sheik from Detroit, the original Sheik, Brian Solomon, was our guest with me and the Queen of Kentucky, Miss Amy, last night. And it was fantastic.
So lots of content coming. We have about 15, 16 different shows we're going to be doing. Yes, Moose, the first month, April, it is free. We want to see what you guys think. We want to get your, opinions on shows, what shows you like, what shows you don't. We'll rotate from there. We're going to be doing weekly segments on women's wrestling because the fun director, Justin, loves women's wrestling.
Big time.
So he's going to be doing something with women's wrestling. We're going to do weekly recap shows, monthly shows of what was good, what wasn't. Evolution of Evil will be making a comeback.
Yes,
it will be on the Patreon. All of our regular podcasts, the Filter Free Popcast, TNA Top 10, Talking Wrestling, all those will be on the video versions live, or not live, but you can watch them as we record them live. Will be on, but we're going to start doing a ton of live shows. We want watch-alongs, everything. We have a lot of people that can create content, and we're going to do it all together. And we're going to give you guys just as much content as we possibly can. So make sure to check out the RAM Network. If you're already following Filter Free Network on Twitter, and it's Twitter @FilterFreeNet, the name will be changing. The Patreon name will be changing, but it's the same Patreon. All the content's going to be there from before, and all new content's coming. So join us. We're now at 32-12 in this match left, so they've been going for 28 minutes.
By the way, Bumwine, getting our DMs.
Yeah, Bumwine,
might be able to do some business.
We can figure something out.
I'm not. Let's finish the schedule for April. I'm not done yet because, as everyone who's watching this knows, we are now doing a watch along for one of the shows we cover every month from now until one of us dies, and maybe even longer. So for April, I just said so for this month, we did all the shows, and I kind of knew WrestleMania 12 was going to win, even though Nitro with Flair versus Goldberg was close with 47 minutes of promo.
By the way, that was an underrated show.
It was
with all the there was no wrestling on the show. It would have been
trash.
We could have walked right through it.
Wait, you guys have been waiting for an hour and 40 minutes for wrestling, which guess what? We got a match. Yay! Who's in it? Bret Hart versus Van Hammer. You gotta be shitting me.
Hardcore Hack and Raven with Bam Bam Bigelow running in. There we go.
And no disqualifications. It's like, fuck it, triple threat. So I just said Clash of the Champions, April 89. The last week, doubleheader. We're doing WrestleMania 5 from April 89. So
that is probably my favorite WrestleMania of all time.
There. So the poll for April for the watch along is just going to be Clash of the Champions or WrestleMania 5. Those would be your choices for the watch along for April, because quite honestly, if we did a watch along for XPW, it would be 42 minutes long, and that's no fun for anyone.
I'm in.
And I've got some great stories coming up for April. Again, Giant Dork. I've already got all the topics for all the shows mapped out for March to June.
How the hell am I going to find movies from 1970? Saturday Night Fever.
Fever. I'm not even sure
We
that was
used the
out
whole
yet.
year.
You're gonna maybe the decade. This movie came out in 1970.
Star Wars and Rambo. That's it. Did Rambo come out in the 70s? That's 80s,
No.
81.
I believe it
wasn't
did.
God, First Blood was like 1985.
Rocky was in the 70s, the first one.
Okay, Rocky.
That
That's
is
what I
true.
meant.
Rocky was, yeah. Man, I'm looking at some of the shows. So actually, in May, I want to plug one show in May. I'm not going to say what it is, but for those of our hardcores that have been listening to, with us since day one, May is our 3-year anniversary as a show. So in May, what I did was I picked a show we covered way back in the day. It was actually, I believe it was our second episode. And we're going to redo it in the month of May. Because back then, in episode 2,
Beware of Dog.
It was Beware of Dog. In episode 2, we were the drizzling shits at podcasting. Diana Hart-Smith, that's where that whole shit started, was that show.
Yep. Show number 2.
By the way, Dave, another XPW show in May.
I'm in, dude. I used to have the tapes. I gave them to the guy that owns Music City, or what's it called? Music City Toys and Collectibles. I gave him my XPW DVD.
Our longtime close personal friend.
Yeah. Good guy. If you need to buy anything, you like wrestling memorabilia, wrestling shirts, wrestling figures, get on Facebook and look up Music City Toys and Collectibles. He's out of Nashville, Tennessee. He'll hook you up. Great stuff.
When Tinny comes back, I'm going to have to go fill up a beer bottle.
Yeah, I got a piece so bad I can taste it.
Yeah, it's bad.
You go. I'll hold down the fort. Go.
All right, I'm going. I'm going.
Yeah, you got 28 minutes before we see the finish.
Actually, you got about 32.
Yeah, exactly.
Hermes, who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
Arn Anderson.
Arn Anderson, huh?
Macho Man's a close second.
I like Macho Man.
Macho Man got me into wrestling when I was 3 or 4 years old, and I've never looked back. But for the promo, the work, what he meant to the business, it's Arn Anderson.
See, I grew up a Hulkamaniac.
I wasn't a Hogan guy. I was a Macho guy.
But see, now as an adult, I wish Savage would have gotten a win over Hogan.
They were few and far between. He got a lot on the house shows, like by DQ and stuff, but never really a clean win, ever. Because Hulk's Hulk.
Michaels jumps to the outside. You know, these guys got to be gassed as shit. 33 minutes in. 27:01, 27 minutes. Time check. We're at 2:09:20, 21, 22, 23.
Calling some spots right there if you caught that, Dave. The camera got a little close there. They were calling spots, so Michaels and Brett right there. It is a good match if you like wrestling, but if you're not interested in seeing something for longer than, like you said, 20 or 30 minutes, it's hard to create something innovative enough that's going to keep someone's attention that long.
See, I just think you could have had this could have easily been a 30-minute match tops. They could have put the tag titles on the show instead of on the pre-show. So the finals to that tournament could have been on this show.
Well, and the pacing is so off in this because, I say it's off. They're doing a good job dragging the match out, so to speak. But I mean, this is an old like Jack Briscoe versus Harley Race, kind of tempo. They're going to start picking it up, but they're obviously taking their time, and they know they're going 60, and it's a legit 60. They can't fake the clock in this particular case. You can't, like they do with the Rumble. You can shave time and all that stuff. There's no shaving time when you put an hour on a scoreboard.
Yeah.
But
I would have liked to have seen, instead of the 6-man tag that opened the show, we talked about this earlier, I would have liked to have seen Yokozuna and Vader. I know Vader was injured. Mm-hmm. He got injured at the Royal Rumble, hence the whole him being suspended by.
Yeah. Well, he came in injured.
Gorilla.
Yeah, he came in injured.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to have seen Vader and Yoko get 5 minutes to do something. I mean, you could have made Yoko or Vader over as the monster heel. I would have liked to have seen Bulldog and Ahmed Johnson get a 7-8 minute match in.
I
you
think that would have been a shit show.
To continue, I think Bulldog could have walked him through it. Ahmed Johnson had some decent matches, like at King of the Ring with Goldust and stuff. He could do it.
But
I would have liked to have seen.
Worker.
What's that?
You had to have the right worker. I mean, you just said Goldust. Goldust, one of the best workers the business had.
Yeah. So, Undertaker and Diesel was good. I would have liked to have seen Razor on this show.
Well,
had he not been suspended.
Right.
But he says he never did anything wrong. He was suspended because he told him he was leaving.
Yes.
So.
Well, between the leaving and the homophobia.
Yeah, he didn't want to do the homophobic angle or he didn't want to do the angle with
checks
Goldust.
Out that he was in Hogan's stable then.
But you could have easily had 3 different matches off of that first match instead of the 6-man. You could have, I mean, even if you just do a tag match and it's Jake and Ahmed Johnson versus Owen and Bulldog, you just could have done something.
Yeah, that 6-man tag was sad because they wanted to do the Yoko and Vader match, and to your guys' point, Vader gets hurt with the moonsault at Great American Bash, I think.
Yep.
In 95, and he never gets it taken care of. Orndorff whoops his ass, and then he comes to WWF.
Naked.
But Yoko was so
with
heavy
a
at the
baby
time.
arm.
Yeah.
Dirty.
It's the shitter net. Sorry, it's catching up. They couldn't move him.
Okay, I
up.
got one too.
Yeah, couldn't
Right.
move him.
Baby arm.
Right.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say it's actually sad that either Jake or Ahmed were not the heel here at this point, because I think a match Ahmed really could have benefited from was Ahmed versus Jake.
Well, you couldn't have Ahmed as a heel because he had just come in, and they saw dollar signs with him.
They were going to make him champion
because he was over, and until the kick from Farouk injured him, and then he never ever got healthy again. Every time he came back, he got injured right away.
Remember, he came back when he joined the Nation. He came back for a run-in
and injured himself the very first night
for
back.
A fight with the DOA and tore his quad.
Yeah, because they were going to push him.
Why wore the pad on it?
Didn't do shit. Maybe he shouldn't have worn it. Maybe the doctor's like, so you keep tearing your quad because you have these incredibly tiny knee pads just shrink wrapped around your thigh. You need to quit doing that.
You would think it would provide support.
Apparently it was not.
Hermes, do you have any cards like Amy has?
No, I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
Come on. Getting to know you. Getting to know all about you.
About you.
What about Cards Against Humanity? You got any of those?
I love Cards Against Humanity.
Now, I could play that game, yeah. I don't have any, but I could play that game.
You're terrible at this game.
Probably deserve some of the shit, too.
Cards. So when I used to own a camper, my wife and I like to go to state parks in the area. As a matter of fact, it's the only place we would go camping in state parks. And we would I always make, in the fall, I would make campfire apple cider. So it was a fifth of Bacardi and a fifth of Captain. And then I would do 2 gallons of apple cider, a gallon of apple juice, 2 cinnamon sticks in a crock pot or in a pot, and a stock
2
pot,
cinnamon, not 3. 2 cinnamon sticks.
Otherwise, 3 overpowers it. So then I put it in a stock pot over the campfire, let it heat up. And it'll get you drunk. And we would watch we would play Cards Against Humanity.
Shocker!
And I've never laughed. Again, I was shit-faced. Let me rephrase that. But I would laugh so hard playing that game.
I have Cards Against Humanity, and I have one better. It's a game called Drawing Without Dignity.
I'm in. I don't even explain the rules. I'm already in.
It's like Adult Pictionary.
Got it.
Oh, God.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Penises. Lots of penises.
Like one of the We played
Or
it
mushrooms.
We played it at one
Mushrooms
of
in
my.
Brazil.
We played it at one of my Christmas sweater parties. And one of them was pearl necklace.
Oh. I just would have wrote ZZ Top on the sheet.
Well, my buddy drew a pearl necklace, and I got it. So it was
good.
But yeah, it was.
We haven't had a contest with the listeners in quite some time. I mean, it's probably been close to a year since we've done box score trivia. And if you guys remember, we had an autographed poster from NXT. Oh, what show was that?
It was
Stand and Deliver.
It was Takeover. It wasn't Stand and Deliver. Charlotte was on it. That's how long ago it was. Rhea Ripley was on it. But it was autographed by all the people on the poster but two. And I don't remember what two it was. But that was our last giveaway in the last top box score trivia. A poster I bought at WrestleCade last year. So I think we need to get ready to do that again. That was fun. We haven't done something like that in quite some time. We've never done a Timmy's Trivioki or a Have You Seen It trivia game with the listeners.
Yeah, I will totally do music against people.
But if you're not going to sing, I'm just going to warn the listeners now. If you're not going to sing when you find out the song, don't bother signing up.
Yeah, don't. It also is a talent show. So if I sing it better, you lose.
We will give you a record contract if you win. It ain't going to be worth a shit, but we'll give you one. We will pay you in creamed corn.
Oh, why did you pick the worst vegetable on the planet? Gross.
It's not even not a vegetable, it's a starch.
What?
Well, whatever. It comes in a can. It's creamy. It's gross.
Sean Jones, you're wrong. I would love to hear you sing.
And your picture is stupid.
In fact, I demand it. By the way, we should mention as we have 17 minutes and change to go left in this match.
By the way, is this Iowa football we're watching? 0-0?
This is our highest viewed show ever.
Well, it's been going on for 42 days.
I mean, yeah, I guess just from attrition standpoint, we were bound to break a record, but thank you to everyone tuning in tonight. Moose no sing, moose no balls. That's what I say. Sing, bitch. Don't be shy.
He's got.
Have you heard us?
He's got a great speaking voice too, so you know he's got it in him. TJ, don't let
to
him
be fair, Moose has balls. He just hasn't
White.
seen them in years.
He can bust out some Barry White. Don't bullshit me. James Otto. Come on, man. I know you can do it. I remember him. What was it? First Top Guy weekend, Sting walked in and Moose just walk around and go, fuck!
The good news is they're going to start picking up the pace. The bad news is they got 16 and a half left.
So that is the issue with an Ironman match is, I mean, they're going at a good speed now. The first 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Not so much. And I mean, I get it. I understand why.
Yeah, because you're going to go. That's what we were talking about when you had to go fill a beer bottle, as you called it earlier.
Yes.
At some point, you can't cheat the clock. You know, when you put an hour on a scoreboard in an arena, you can't cheat the clock. So you've got to be able to go. Now, these two, you know, probably the best candidates in 1996 for an Ironman match.
He may have just murdered Jose Lothario.
And what a badass Jose is, if you know anything about Texas wrestling. You know,
we've seen him on some of the old world-class shows.
Yeah. And that was toward the end of his career, honestly. You know, that wasn't even during the heyday. But if you've watched the stuff with him and Gino, I mean, they lit the territory on fire.
God, they're beating the shit out of Jose. So I think they're I don't know if we've seen a world-class show yet with Gino.
I don't think we have.
I don't think we have.
I think
we've seen the Freebirds.
Vaughnwater's the expert, but the Von Erichs took on. We did this for the Jake the Snake podcast. I helped Marcus with Chris Adams had turned on the Von Erichs.
Yes.
And so it was the Von Erichs versus Jake, Gino, and Adams.
Yeah.
So pretty good 6-man tag, and they actually beat the Von Erichs for the 6-man tag titles.
It's a pretty eclectic 6-man group.
Yeah, and then they were trying to get, I believe it was Mike over, so Jake ate like 5 pins in a row on major events like the Star Wars and such.
Mm-hmm.
And then he ended up he left WCCW because he couldn't make any money, and he went back to Watts. But
where he wore his karate pants.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the worst things I've ever seen is Mike Von Erich doing the press conference just before they did their Israel show after he was recovering. No, I'm sorry. It was after the Israel show where he got toxic shock syndrome. And he did that press conference. I think they were setting up for the Texas Stadium show. And it's terrible. I cannot believe
14 minutes remaining in the match.
I cannot believe Fritz Von Erich let his son go up there like that and do a press conference like that. He was in such bad shape.
Yeah, and they get a lot of press because of the movie, but it really is a tragic story.
Of course.
Because Fritz buried a baby too, and I think that was
Jack.
4. Yeah, there was 4 of them, if not 5.
There's 5.
Yeah,
So it was Jack, David, Kevin, Kerry. No, there was 6. Mike.
Yeah, 5 died.
That's what I meant. 5 of the 6 died. Yeah. At some point, you have to stop counting. That's the sad part, And there's only so much tragedy someone's going to take.
Kevin's still kicking in Hawaii. I couldn't be happier for him. And yeah, the Jack Jr. one was so bizarre because they were living at the time. Fritz was working out of Buffalo, so they lived in a mobile home park, and it was snowing because it's Buffalo, and they dropped Jack. I always catch myself saying this because my son's name's Jack. They were dropping off Jack. You can't say dropping Jack off. Dropping off Jack. And he was walking around the trailer, and he touched the trailer hitch on the front of the trailer, and it electrocuted it, or not electrocuted because electrocution's dead. I'm an electrician. So he shocked him, and then he fell face down in the snow and drowned.
All right, how he died. Out of that happiness, Miss Amy is helping us from the beyond.
Is she also dead?
No, but beyond to this show. I asked her to send me pictures of the cards.
And I got all I saw was a nipple.
Would you say you are faster or more flexible?
Neither.
Oh, faster.
Got to be faster because I'm fat.
You remember in high school when you had to do the V?
Hermes is like, well, let's see, last Saturday night.
I'm doing the math, yeah.
You remember in high school you had
probably flexible. I am a cardio machine, but I'm probably flexible, not fast.
He had ribs removed. He said just for flexibility.
I am most definitely faster.
Hey, Dave, you've met me in real life. We're gonna have to do a lot more than removing ribs at this point. Okay.
You were in high school. You had to do the V-sit and reach for like your physical fitness test. I had to have people put feet on my shoulders just to get me back to 0. So whatever the baseline is for fast, I'm way more fast than I am flexible.
So card number 2, do you have any special skills or talents when it comes to crafting or DIY projects?
I have a special talent. Watch this.
Special talent when it comes to DIY. I built this room. I framed it up, insulated and drywalled it.
I had a pretty sick bar at my old house. Remember? I built that.
I do remember that.
I'm buying one now and having it delivered because I don't want to build another one.
That makes complete sense.
I'm a walking stereotype, landscaping and gardening.
Nice.
Some of you will catch that in 20 minutes.
What's your go-to plant?
Hydrangeas.
Good. You can come to my house because my wife sucks at it. She does not have a green thumb, and we need some fucking plants.
I'm gonna this year. I am clearing my shit out and just putting gravel, like river rock everywhere, and like I'll buy some stone things and put in there. I don't even want to try anymore.
I'm the guy. I could landscape. I give two shits, but I think this year in the backyard, I'm gonna because I'm thinking about selling the house this year and getting a bigger one. So I'm thinking about the backyard, investing in the rollout side. Thinking about doing that this year.
That's not a special skill or talent.
I didn't say it was.
Investing.
I just want you to know what's going on in my life. That's all.
I'm investing.
Next card. If you could have
Dave,
any
if anyone should be
superpower,
appreciated,
what would it be?
Grass should be you.
Say it again.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be? We already did this, Dave.
We did? I didn't do this.
Yeah, I thought we did this.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Any
TJ, you didn't listen.
I don't. Most of the time you're talking.
I think being able to fly would be pretty kick-ass. Be able to read kids or people's minds.
I really thought Dave was going to go with X-ray vision. Just saying.
Or X-ray vision so I can see titties.
Special powers.
Oh, look, Stacy Keebler. Blah, 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 blah.
Motorboat.
I can't walk. I'm so exhausted from all the matches.
That'd be the worst of the motorboats, by the way.
I think that. Man, that's tough.
Yeah,
I think Spider-Man. I gotta go Spider-Man.
I'd like to have Batman's power. Just be super rich.
It's not really a power.
You already are.
Yeah.
With the growly voice.
It's not a superpower. It's an acquired skill.
I'm going to go with flying. Yeah.
Being able to fly.
You know how much money you could save being able to fly?
I mean, it'd be cool to shoot shit out of your eyes or use the Wolverine blades, but flying is much more functional. Like, it actually has something you do.
It'd be a nice revenge tactic for you if you could shoot shit out of your eyes.
Having like Professor X's thing and being able to like control her mind, that'd be pretty cool. Stacy Keebler.
Then you wouldn't need X-ray vision because they just take their shirts off.
Dave would have the Quagmire arm.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't need it.
Dave, I haven't seen you in a week. Where you been? I just had to go I have to go back inside.
Amy underestimated the length of this match. She only sent us 3.
Yeah, bro, what are you doing?
We need like
6:56 to go. Oh, Lord.
As much
By
as
the way, Iowa still hasn't scored.
As much as I enjoy having legitimate wrestling conversations, we've done that twice during this match. I'm out of shit to talk about. You guys want to talk about Stampede wrestling in the 70s and the 80s? Bastion Booger was really good in Canada. He was Makan Singh.
Yeah, and then they made him.
What was he in WCW? Norman
the Lunatic, the Mad Monk, Friar Ferguson, Bastion Booger.
I don't know if I ever told you guys this, but I watched a Monday Night Raw once where the main event was. So remember, Bastion Booger was feuding with Bam Bam over Luna.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a main event on Raw one night. It was the Smoking Guns against Bam Bam Bigelow and Bastion Booger. So if you think about it, the main event was Bart and Billy Gunn against Bastion Booger and Bam Bam Bigelow. There were 7 fucking B names.
A lot of B's
in one match.
I bet you Vince
the Rumble over the Better Business Bureau.
How did WWF make it through 93?
1987.
I go back and watch all the Raws in order. 94 with some very few examples, strictly because of the flooding of shit gimmicks. 94 is far worse than 93. 94 might be the worst year for WWF ever.
What about 95 though? Because they weren't that good either.
Well, 95, you started to see some guys emerge. And what I meant by shining examples in '94, right? You had Brett and Owen at 10. You had July was, in my estimation, the greatest television title defense ever. That was Bret Hart 1-2-3 Kid in July on Raw, and a big part of that was Jim Ross called it. And then you got Shawn and Razor 2 at SummerSlam that year. And then I actually enjoyed the Bob Backlund Bret Hart match at Survivor Series. I didn't hate it. That was okay.
Too long.
It was a little long.
94 too. It was Razor and Diesel at SummerSlam. Next year it was Michael.
Yeah, 95. See, I remember like that SummerSlam was in Chicago, and I was stoked for it. For that, dude, I ate that Undertaker versus Undertaker thing up, dude.
They brought Walter Payton out. Your boy.
Yeah. Frank Bruno has that poster of SummerSlam with the two Undertakers facing each other,
broken mirror,
autographed.
That's awesome.
He's got an autograph by Undertaker and Brian Lee.
And Brian Lee, yeah.
I liked that. I thought that was a good pay-per-view.
Well, again, in 94, I'm 9. I was all the way in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was in 94. It's like summer of 94. I was 12. I was all over this shit, dude. I loved it.
Well, and on the other channel, you're seeing Hulk Hogan wrestle Ric Flair and the Masked Man come out and bust his knee and all the other stuff. So
I remember watching that live on Clash of the Champions.
They had to have the Butcher. Yeah, you butchered a friendship. They had to have something to counterbalance Hulk. So you do Taker versus Faker. And of course, that summer, Vince came off the steroid trial. So maybe 94 was so horrible because, you know, him and Jerry McDivitt are trying to save his ass. Because that was as close as the federal government had ever gotten to getting Vince McMahon.
Right.
Really too bad they didn't.
Yeah, and in retrospect.
Yeah, clearly. And I'm not saying they won't get him with what this new stuff is.
Oh, they're gonna.
But
they're gonna. But could you imagine a midnight, an Attitude Era WWF run by Jerry Jarrett?
No, it wouldn't have happened.
We would have had Jeff Jarrett as our champion the whole time.
WCW would have been the one.
10 years of Jeff Jarrett.
WWF goes under in 99 because that's what would have happened. WCW probably still doesn't make it just because of the merger. You have no major wrestling companies after 2001 in the United States.
Yeah, because ECW folds when WWF goes under.
Yeah. So you have that's a good point. They go under the same time. So you have
now we'd just be stuck with AEW wanting to kill ourselves.
Or do we?
But none of the stars. Because
I actually think it would have been better
WWE.
for wrestling today had wrestling gone dark in 99. Because this same shit happened in the 40s when the New York Times ran a revealing piece calling wrestling a work. Well, Madison Square Garden didn't show wrestling for like 25 years after that. They came back. Some guy named Bruno Sammartino lit the region on fire, and here we are. So maybe it would have been good if wrestling would have gone dark in 2000.
Well, the 2000s were not good either.
No, they weren't.
So, you go back and
to
watch
be fair, there's a few more entertainment possibilities in 2000 than there was in 1940.
It's true. But I stopped watching. So I went to WrestleMania 19 in Seattle. Went there. I didn't watch wrestling again after that show until 2007. And
there would have been something popped up like XPW or whatever. That would have been the new one. And it would have been like WCW Light, but they would have made it work because Hogan probably would have funded a lot of it.
Oh, sure. One of them would have, yeah.
The shit of it all is that the guy that basically provided all this for us is the world's worst person.
Oh, absolutely.
Because, yeah. Without him, we've met all these wrestlers and promoters, and they're all trash. While Vince McMahon is trash of a different sort, he's good at business.
I mean, I kind of like Eric Bischoff.
Also not great at business.
And also different when WCW goes under, Eric Bischoff probably buys it.
Yeah, he's a legacy protector. Everything was not his idea as long as it was a failure. And it's okay 25 years later to admit something wasn't a good idea. Like fucking up the biggest main event your company ever had.
Dude. I can't believe he's still dying on that hill.
He is, and that's the thing. It's like, just admit it. 1997 was 27 years ago. Just admit y'all let Hulk do what Hulk wanted to do, and you fucked up your payoff.
He wasn't tan enough. Did you see his face?
Here's my thing, TJ, and you're a guy, obviously, you know, wrestling historian. I write the orange shows. These are things observant people do. Y'all watch wrestling every fucking week. Sting was at every single WCW Nitro, and you decide the night you're going to make him and put him over Hogan that he's not ready?
It's a giant flaw in the story, right?
Yeah,
giant flaw in the story.
He's there every single week rappelling from the ceiling, and all of a sudden, not ready. Not ready.
Well, I mean, Hogan beat him. That wasn't a slow count.
Hogan threw the flag. Not going to work. Doesn't work for me, brother.
And then they come back in Super Brawl, and it makes it so much less than when they get it they get it right. You know.
Well, they did it on Nitro too, and then Super Brawl.
So we just had this we actually covered Super Brawl 7 last month, and Dave and I got into a quasi argument, as much as we can argue. Dave and I are too much alike, but I thought, and I still believe to this day, Roddy Piper should have won the world title at Super Brawl 7. Coming out of Alcatraz. No one was ever, with the exception of Sting in 97, that's the only babyface that ever got that over against Hogan was Piper.
Goldberg.
He should have won the world title. For one, two purposes, right? You actually add some intrigue because Hogan's not dominating WCW, but also you give Piper his one thank you world title reign.
I could have seen them giving Piper the belt at Starrcade 96 and then Hogan winning it back at Sold Out. I could have seen that. Because Piper went over Hogan every time they wrestled when the belt wasn't on the line.
Right.
Because just randomly, it wasn't on the line at 96 when it was, but then it wasn't.
Well, and they deliberately didn't announce it was a title match, and they didn't make a big deal about it, that it not being a non-title match. So when he puts him to sleep at the end of the show, you think Piper won the title, but he didn't.
And then we watched that show for whatever reason, Super Bowl, they restart the match after Piper put him to sleep. And then who came out? Was it Savage?
Macho Man.
It was Macho Man because he was a free agent. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for those of you playing along at home, we are in overtime now. Dave and Timmy's favorite. We've gone more than 60 minutes in this Iron Man match.
Enjoying it now because Shawn Michaels is looking like Shawn Michaels.
Super kick. The first super kick just hit.
So I'm gonna level with you guys. I hated Shawn Michaels here. Well, again, like I said, pretty much his whole first run, I hated him. I hated that he strip teased. I just hated him altogether.
Yeah, it's terrible being a sexy boy. Yeah.
I loved his second act. But I will not deny the fucking guy could wrestle.
DX Shawn was the best.
I hated DX Shawn too.
Well, that was pilled out of your mind, Sean, you know, and so whatever he thought of came out of his mouth or went on the screen at the time.
What's crazy is how good pilled out Michaels was in the ring, though.
Absolutely. He said and did shit that I thought was great. Don't get me wrong from time to time. But I still thought DX2 was better than the original.
1, 2, 3. Now Brett gets all boo-boo.
Boyhood dream has come true.
The boyhood dream. Here comes Vince freaking out. Yeah.
So
Brett gets mad because he was a transitional champion. Like every champion isn't a transitional champion.
That's true.
They got to lose it to somebody at some point.
So there's been 2 champions that were not transitional in the history. Well, actually now 3 in the history of the company. They're 4. It's Bruno, Bob Backlund, Hogan, Roman.
Yeah,
that's it. Even Austin. I think Austin's longest run was 4 months.
Macho had a full year.
He did, and that's actually probably the best year WWF ever had.
But he had the full year. But I mean, the whole point of it was to drop
make
it to
it
Hogan
better.
the next year.
Yeah.
So I mean, but it's just the thing. Like Brett was mad. He won the belt from Diesel, but everything was being built around Shawn Michaels beating him at WrestleMania. But it's like, dude, okay, well, what about the year before when everything was around you beating Yokozuna at WrestleMania, dick face?
Yeah.
Like, what difference does it make?
So,
by the way, why is Brett hanging around? Like they're
We just
presenting
watched
the title to Shawn, and Brett's just like, I'm gonna meander
so
around
it's
the ring
interesting
for
you
a
said
while.
literally the last sentence of the write-up in the Wrestling Observer is Brett walked out of the ring at their finish rather than doing a symbolic in-ring passing of the torch. Guess on the star rating. We just watched an hour and 2 minutes of it.
7 3/4.
3 and
Dave
3/4.
says 2. 3 and
sucked.
3/4.
It was like
Tim, do you have a
4,
realistic guess? Because you know it's not 7 1/4.
4 1/4.
4.5.
It was 4 1/4 stars. I'm not going to read you the whole thing because it's like 8 pages and it's sticky, but it's long.
What? Sticky.
What happened? So again, at this show, so say what you will about the Iron Man match. It's forever. We will grant you, but it was all in all a decent enough match. WCW's answer to this on pay-per-view that same month is the Doomsday Cage between Hogan and Savage, and
Also entertaining. And by the way, I would have loved to have done
reasons.
that watch along.
For all the
Every
wrong
heel in
reasons.
the company, yeah. Every heel in the company. They brought Zeus back for that.
Well, even
The
still,
Gangsta.
Gangster.
I just listened to the What Happened When they watched that show with Tony Schiavone, and forget the goofy ass cage structure, forget the scaffolding on the outside they were walking around for what a dumbass reason, and if one of them slipped, they would have died. The first 2 guys they face, Ric Flair and Arn Anderson. You literally saved the shit people for last. And Brian Pillman's in that match. I don't remember that at all. I think he just hung out in the back. In the cages.
Yeah, he never makes an appearance. He's not in the match.
I thought he was announced to be.
He was supposed to be in the match, but he got boo-boo face. That's when he's starting to do his swerve
cannon.
between the two. Yeah, to doing the contract loose cannon. And Hogan wanted him in, but wanted to pin him or something, and Pillman wouldn't do the job. And so they ended up.
Why don't you pin Tiny Lesser?
And he might have come in at the end. You might be right, TJ, but he did not start the match. He did not start that match, though. Yeah, because they talked about that on. Yeah, I think they talked about it on 83 Weeks, and I've heard Kevin Sullivan talk about it before too, where Pillman really was the loose cannon because nobody had any idea what the hell he was going to do from day to day. And then he got in a car wreck, and it ruined it all.
Right. So we have 4 minutes to go on this show. Do you guys have any send-off thoughts before we close this up?
Take us home, please.
Okay. Well, again, I remind you guys.
Nobody wants to watch Sean Bowes.
There will be a poll out here in the next few days, right after this show drops. Next month, April, your 2 choices for the poll: WCW Clash of the Champions from April '89 or WrestleMania 5. Those are going to be your 2 choices for the poll. What is wrong with WrestleMania 5?
All right. No one wants to watch us for 3 hours.
They literally just did it. It's our highest viewed show ever. We're beautiful people.
Compilers. We're compilers.
You know what? I like that.
Like Nolan Ryan, right, Tim?
WrestleMania 5. Let's do it live.
Yeah, Dave's voting WrestleMania 5 because Demolition.
I'm voting WrestleMania 5.
Let me see what the main event of Clash of the Champions was, because I don't remember off the top of my head.
Same weekend?
It's Flair Steamboat in Louisiana in front of 1,000 people, if I'm not mistaken.
No way. It's a Superdome?
They put it in the Superdome, I think, because it goes February, April, and May. They close the program down.
It is.
You can double check me, TJ. That's Flair and Steamboat.
It is. Oh, it went to the. I don't want. Oh, here we go. Dates and venues. 89. April 89. Clash of the Champions 6. Ragin' Cajun. Superdome. But apparently the main event is Lex Luger versus Jack Victory. That can't
I'm
be
in.
right.
I'm in.
For the
I
US
want that.
title, that can't
I
be
want
right.
it.
No, it's a 2 out of 3 falls match, if I'm not mistaken.
I know it's not Lex Luger versus Jack Victory. I know it's not the main event.
Please give me
No,
that
I believe
show.
so. I believe you're right. I think that is Flair and Steamboat in the Superdome in front of 5,300 people, if I remember correctly.
I thought it was like 1,000. Like legitimately, they did not do anything for themselves to sell that show.
Andrew, tell us the name of your show.
TNA Top 10. Every week we drop on Tuesday, kind of like these guys. Terry and I right now are in our quote off season, where we're ranking the most obnoxiously obscure things from sitcoms to serial. Next time we're doing sitcoms Terry didn't think of, and then we're gonna do
because he forgot all of them.
Yeah, he did. Hey, we made the list tonight. That's what I was doing before I got here. But we're trying to be more of a quote variety show because we felt like breaking down football plays for 2 and 3 hours at a time was probably boring some people. So we're trying to do less of that and be, a little more what word am I looking for? Variety, I guess. I said variety, but not just football centric where we talk about the Iron Bowl for 45 minutes and one play for 30 of those 45 minutes. So
there you go.
Like I say, we're on social. Terry does a good job keeping me straight if that's at all possible.
There's no way you've ever been straight.
That
Wait,
is
what?
the absolute truth. Absolute truth. I have some really fun ideas for TNA's top 10 things, and Terry keeps Xing them because he doesn't know anything about fashion or this type of music or this. And I said, Terry, they're stilettos. He said, I don't give a shit. I don't know anything about them. So
those are heels.
I would like to see Terry talk about stilettos.
I would like to see Terry wear stilettos.
It would be hilarious, but he keeps vetoing my ideas. So
I would rather see him in hooker boots.
I don't know if he could manage them, but it would be fun to watch, even if it was for 5 minutes. But no, I appreciate y'all having me on. We're gonna, like y'all said, we're gonna do some more collaborating. I really have an idea for me and Dave. It would be a one-time show probably, but it would be revisiting Florida State versus Nebraska, Osborne, Bowden. My bad.
Osborne, Bowden.
Bowden. But the Orange Bowl always ran through the Big 8, and it ran through Florida State for the most part, if it won't Miami. So
we can do the year before, too. Florida State and Nebraska played in that one, too.
They played in 93. They played in 92. They played in 89, maybe, or 90.
All 7 viewers would love that.
Yeah.
I live 46 minutes from Notre Dame.
Sorry
Place
about
the
that.
shithole.
Congrats.
It's not. Touchdown, Jesus.
Jesus don't watch football.
You and Lou
That's
Holtz.
not true. He does.
He's from Israel. He watches soccer.
But like I said, there's stuff like that we talked about doing. We talked about profiling the Miami team from 01 because if you look at that roster, absolutely ridiculous.
You know who they lost to? O-H-I-O.
We could watch the game, Tim. And I'm putting
the bullshit ending of that game.
And we can
talk about Maurice Claret and how he turned into.
We should do a 2013 Florida State show. Where every single player on the starting offense and starting defense was drafted into the NFL.
This is my point. See, that's why we like the collaboration because we going away from it and you guys have a lot of fun. I will say this show is highly entertaining. And so I was glad to be able to be part of it. Even if Tim's a clown,
He's a clown.
Ice cream machine working or not.
It's not.
We're going to do a Kelsey's only show.
Well, that could work too.
From University of Cincinnati.
Bonus content.
Jason Kelsey, Travis Kelsey. We'll talk about Taylor Swift.
Kelsey's nuts. We need to have a bonus show where Timmy proves that his fucking shake machine works.
That's what, yeah, because he's the only
bonus
person
content
in America.
We'll send Amy over to that McDonald's to get a swirl cone.
No, her daughter, because apparently she's talking to him. So the whole show is just Timmy going.
By the way, her daughter's there like 3 days a week.
Until it breaks.
Yeah.
Oh. But it never breaks, remember? That's what he keeps telling us.
We don't have that. We don't have that problem.
Anyway. Timmy, what is the Twitter handle of your shake machine?
At Timmy C 1979.
Dollar Bill Dave.
Follow me on X
Stop it.
Or Twitter.
at Dave in the HSV.
And I'm at TC was 91. Of course, we are on Twitter at FF Popcast, on Instagram at Filter Free Popcast. Next week, we're going to cover WCW Saturday Night from April of 1998. We're going to kick off the NFL Europe. We get to talk about the NFL draft too, which
World
excites the shit
League?
out of me. Huh?
World League?
NFL Europe.
World Star.
That's what it was first.
We're also going to
World League.
rock out for the rainforest and so much more. This has been the Filter Free Popcast, and so long for now.
Joke of the week. What's a rabbit's favorite type of music? Hip hop.
It was too easy. It was too obvious.
Damn.
Stupid.